Mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So I'm me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Wednesday, May 29th. We have a big show for you today. As we mentioned on Monday, or maybe we didn't mention on Monday, Mitch is not on the show today. He has had to travel to the West Coast to take care of some things, and he is currently, I think, in the air as we speak. So he is not on the show, but we have our pinch hitter, and we have a deep bench, deep bench, right? You have guys that come in here, they similar to what LSU has been going to rely on in the regional, right? You have guys coming off the bench that need to rise up in these situations, and that one of those guys, one of our 6th man of the year, Clay Moffitt, joined the show, son of the Moffitt method, Tommy Moffitt.
Yeah.
Regular guest of the show, friend of the show, former LSU pitcher. So he's got a lot of wisdom that he is going to share with us about what it's like playing in a regional, what it's like when you need to get into your bullpens and guys needing to step up and all those types of things. So Clay, appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I kind of feel like Howie off the bench warmers, but it's
Coach,
all good.
Coach,
Based
you,
off
you
of-
look fucking jacked.
Yeah,
on
well,
camera. Look at
I
that.
might look jacked on camera.
Well, which
mind
one's
you,
which?
me and Mikey are also matching today. We
Yeah,
came
but look,
in,
my
we came in
pants,
full uniform by
My-
accident.
my pants,
baseball season, Coach.
my pants look less, like more
Blue.
blue than yours. Yours look lighter, mine look darker.
Yeah,
So that's
Well,
okay.
And you're wearing shorts. I'm wearing pants.
Yeah.
But we did.
Oh, you
I
can't
literally came in and saw
Can't
him. I was like, "Geez, Coach, we're wearing the same
No,
thing."
you look great.
today."
Well, you came in
look
and
great.
changed.
Yeah,
look great.
Well, I,
It's like,
yeah,
oh.
I looked like a work goof, so I had to put a different shirt
No,
on.
you look great.
No free ads.
We ended up.
You look great. So you got me and Clay. You got obviously Lloyd
Here.
pulling it down as he always does. And so we're gonna have a great show today. Obviously, it's gonna be a lot of conversation about LSU, about the regionals. We're gonna preview the Wofford game. Obviously, that's LSU's first opponent. We're gonna talk a little bit about North Carolina because we will not have a show again to preview. We'll actually be watching live.
Yeah, we'll have a show.
We'll have a show as the game's going on, but we're probably not going to be able to get real in depth because you don't know if you're going to play yet. You have to win the game, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about North Carolina. D1Baseball.com actually has a pretty good write-up on the regional and then the preview of it. North Carolina is what you think they are. And I want everybody to understand this. Like, LSU is very good, and they're playing really good baseball, and they've played in the SEC. So they're used to facing these types of competition. But let's not get it twisted and just automatically assume, oh, LSU's in the SEC and they play these teams, they're going to be the favorite in the regional and they're just going to run through it. So North Carolina is the 4th overall seed. They're the ACC champs, and they are very good. Their center fielder is going to be a first-rounder. Like, they have 2 good starters. They have a really good bullpen. And so we're going to get into that. But I want to preface that. Like, don't just automatically think as fans that this thing's over. I know the team's not thinking that way. At the end of the day, LSU's still a number 2 seed. They may be the hottest number 2 team out there, number 2 seed out there, but they are a number 2 seed. So we are going to get through that. Rest of the Heineken headlines. Paul Skenes Day.
Came and went.
Another day. Another day.
Another dollar.
Another dollar. A bunch of dollars that he is earning every time he goes out there. He has this pitch, and it's called the
Splinker.
Blinker.
and it is unhittable. And he went 6 innings, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts today. He's got an ERA in the low 2s and 4 starts in Major League Baseball, and his worst start was his first start. So,
And that was electric also.
and that was electric. You know, he was a little amped up. Fastball was kind of going all over the place. The next day, felt more comfortable. 6 innings pitched, 0 hits, 11 strikeouts. Second day in the big leagues, figured it out. Hey, nobody's going to hit me. Same team, actually, which makes it even harder, right? The team faced him in his debut, sees him already. He has to face the same team again in his second start. No hits him through 6, right? And then he's been dominant ever since. Show a different type of pitcher he can be. In his third start, went 6 innings, give up 1 run, only struck out 2, but he had less than 100 pitches through 6 innings. Won that game. Then he comes back in here after a postponement, and he goes 6 innings and 9 strikeouts, and they get the win again. Seems like every time he's on the mound, it literally energizes the team, and they win.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign for the Pirates. They got a lot of talent on the mound.
Dude,
And
he threw that splinker. It was like 94 down and in on a lefty, and then he went 101 up, top of the zone.
is that good?
And it's just like,
Yeah.
it was almost like he was playing a video game.
Yeah.
And I asked Mikey before the show, I said, dude, what do you do with that splinker? And he goes, hope it's up or a ball.
Yeah. You don't swing it if he's throwing at the bottom of the zone for strikes, or even right underneath the strike zone. It's impossible to hit. It's like Tanaka, the pitcher for the Yankees. It's like his splitter. Everything he would throw at his knees, and if he was throwing his splitter at the knees and it was falling out the plate, you could not swing at it. And so you didn't hope that he either left it up or he just spiked it.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
It was his birthday today, too.
It was his birthday. Happy birthday, Paul Skenes.
Happy birthday, Paul
Have a
Skenes.
great start on your birthday.
Yeah, you saw Jay Johnson reveal they put Skenes on the wall. I guess he had to make more than 1 start.
Is that why? If you make the big league, you should be on the wall. Right?
Yeah, I don't know when they filmed it, but
They were
they
just
filmed.
waiting.
Yeah.
They were just waiting.
It was a
Good day
birthday
to do
gift,
it.
is what I was going to get to.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, you saw Jay Johnson make the announcement of, happy birthday and pitch well today.
Okay, and he did.
Yeah, so 4 starts into his time with the Pirates. Paul Skenes' numbers, courtesy of Jeff Passan. 22 innings, 15 hits, giving up 2 home runs, 5 walks, 30 strikeouts, 2.45 ERA.
5 walks, 30 Ks.
Yep.
In the big
That's
leagues.
crazy.
That's pretty good.
And you talk about the team playing better whenever he
Have
pitches.
they won all of his starts?
I don't know if they've won all of their starts, but Andrew McCutcheon, who has seen a lot of baseball in his time, has homered in all 4 Paul Skenes starts. 6 for 14, 4 yabos, 6 RBIs, batting a cool 430.
Wow.
On non-Skenes days, batting 205.
Look at the veteran. The veteran said, hey,
Well, you
youngster,
just-
I'm going to help you out.
Man, confidence, man.
No doubt, dude.
It's contagious.
They know exactly. The offense knows, hey, this guy's going to go out there and he's going to shove, and they're not going to be able to score many runs. So let's take advantage of that, and that's what they're doing. So it's fun to watch. Last thing of the Heineken headlines before we get to the baseball conversation. Football is less than 100 days away. I don't know the exact countdown, but it's getting close. You got NFL teams, their OTAs are starting, right? Is it OTAs? Is that what it's called right now?
Yeah.
Whatever the part of it, they're starting. The Saints are obviously back in there. A lot of conversation with the Saints about Trevor Penning moving to right tackle. Maybe that's the best move because they drafted another left tackle. We shall see. But there's a lot of football conversations. College football has been in the news for the entire offseason because transfer portal, NCAA rulings, all these types of things. And now another, I guess, conversation that had been had over the last couple of years is now I'm going to the game. I'm very excited about this LSU-USC game in Vegas, right?
Somebody isn't.
Apparently, USC is not very excited about it. So for the last 2 years, USC has been trying to get out of that game.
Really?
And not play it. Now, before
know
everybody jumps on the fan take and say, oh, they're scared to play LSU and they don't
Hell
want to do
yeah,
all
they
this,
are, dude.
and they don't want, that could be a little bit of it, right? Not necessarily LSU, but hey, our first year in the Big Ten, our schedule is really hard. We're going to have to play this team, right? Yeah, that could be a thing. The other reason why they may try to get out of it is because Lincoln Riley wasn't out there when they made the schedule. Now that he's there and he's looking at all these other teams and what they do in that first game of the season, a la LSU the last couple of years, you go and play this really tough opponent and you lose. You put yourself in a position where it makes it really hard to make it to the playoffs. So maybe he's thinking, hey, this is strategic. We don't why play a team like that when we don't have to play a team like that. But they're stuck with them. LSU and USC is not. They're not moving it.
Those games are awesome, though.
I
man.
love it.
It's almost like a bowl game, but better.
No doubt.
I mean,
first game of the season.
First game of the season.
Everybody's
watching, fired up.
100%. For the most part.
I think they're awesome. I don't know. I mean, how do you know USC is scared?
I don't.
There's
There's an article about how they try to come out. Now, obviously, they had anonymous sources, all this kind of stuff, of course. But the article was written, and they said that USC has been trying to get out. I'm not saying they're scared. That's why I said before we ever get into the fan take of everybody's scared, let's say they've been trying to get out of it.
You
There's
don't
multiple
try to do
reasons.
something for 2 years if you're not a little bit timid about it. I don't know if scared is the right word, but he certainly didn't want to play this game against LSU.
Would USC rather play San Jose State game 1? Of course.
Yeah, well, they left that when they got to a Big Ten conference. And
Right.
that's what he was bitching about was, well, now with the Big Ten, we can't have games
that's-
on ESPN.
that's
it's
the
you're
other
really
argument.
Going to the
Yep.
well here, Lincoln.
That's the other argument, right? The Fox was trying to help USC get out of it because, right?
Yeah, their first game
Because
is
they
the
are
Big
the
Ten
Big
will be on
Ten
ABC,
network.
ESPN. That's the SEC.
And so that's the SEC networks, whatever. But whatever. That's the conversation.
Guess what they're playing in 95 days?
They were playing 95 days. Love that.
Kyle Williams.
95 days away. That's not as far as you think.
No.
Listen, it's
Kyle
basically
Williams.
June, right? LSU made the postseason in baseball, so now that kind of extends your June a little bit of having some things to look forward to. And then when that's over with, there's a little bit of a dead period there that we're going to work hard to get through, and we're going to have some cool guests on. We're going to have some interviews. We're going to do all those types of things. But then you get through July, and boy, when August hits, it's it's football season.
It's on.
And
It's
you
hot.
really start feeling it. It's really hot. Hopefully we have all the hurricanes that are supposed to be coming this year.
Do
not come this year. But you start thinking football. So
Yeah,
a
your
lot
dad
to-
will be back at work for some other team.
He's there.
Yeah, he's there right now. He's been there.
Mm-hmm. Loves
In
it
the
that
grind.
year.
Yeah, it's weird seeing him in maroon, but it also looks good at the same time because he's coaching again. So
Yeah.
it's
No
like, it's
No
cool
doubt.
Bring you
seeing
any
him.
gear?
Oh yeah, I got some A&M stuff. I went to the spring game, so I was walking around in a maroon and white shirt.
Oh,
But look,
Tough.
I mean, I love.
Yeah, you support
I love
your
my dad.
Yeah,
Support your
I
dad.
gotta support it. And look, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna come to an LSU game and wear purple and gold. You know, it's like definitely still gonna do that. And even for baseball games, can't be wearing A&M colors at any baseball stuff. But yeah, I'm a rock a Texas A&M football shirt. No, I mean, come on now, anybody would, right?
no.
Yeah, you would. You support your dad. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I went to the spring game and he was. Dude, he just loves the dude.
Yeah, he loves football.
Eats it up.
He loves it, dude. That's good. He's in his
Straight
happy
football
place.
guy.
He deserves to be there.
Yeah.
I'm nervous because I know he's obviously making a big impact there. So we shall see. But it's not football season yet. We're still 95 days away. We still got to talk a little bit LSU baseball. We have to talk a little bit about. We're going to talk all about the regional, but LSU's first opponent is Wofford. Right? LSU is in Chapel Hill. They left today. I'd imagine they're already there. Probably in the hotel getting ready for. They're staying in a nice area. Found that out last night. Very familiar with the lay of the land out there in Durham / Chapel Hill /
over there,
Raleigh.
huh?
Right? It's Tobacco Road. They live North Carolina and Durham are like 15 miles apart. Maybe not even that far.
I think it's like 2.6 miles.
Yeah, like it's really not far at all. And so, playing for Durham for a little bit, I got to experience that area. Beautiful area. North Carolina campus is awesome. And, so the boys are going to have a good time. They're there early. They're getting acclimated to the East Coast, to the
no jet lag.
Eastern time zone.
No jet lag.
No jet lag. They're going to have a little bit of a practice tomorrow and then get ready for the game. I'd imagine they're probably going to go to a nice dinner. But they're there, and they have a regional that is winnable, no doubt, right? Like I said that earlier about North Carolina being good. They are. They're the number 4 overall seed for a reason. But LSU also is an extremely talented team. It's a team that North Carolina is probably not very excited about having to play. They probably felt, hey, we're the 4 overall seed. We probably should have a better.
Yeah, we thought we
worse
did the work
2
in the regular season. to
Similar.
avoid
Listen,
this.
we felt the same way in 09 when we played Rice. We feel like Rice should not have been a 2 seed in our regional.
Mm-hmm.
Now it worked out, but that's a tough draw. So LSU's going to play Wofford first. Wofford brings a little bit of a Kentucky-esque feel to it, does it not, Lloyd? Don't you feel that way?
That's what we were saying a little bit before. I guess pre-show meeting when we do all the real work for this thing. The meeting of the minds, it's real high level stuff. But from what I like seeing, I haven't seen Wofford play this year. Hand up, that's on me. Didn't watch. The
I don't
Terriers
think there's
yet.
many games that are televised.
No, there's no
ESPN Plus,
for the
maybe.
Terriers.
Yeah.
But from looking through the numbers, and it bears out a little bit to where they like to run so much that kind of what you've seen Kentucky do lately, where they get on base, try to kind of manufacture runs every time I put pressure on you. It feels like that's a lot what this Wofford team does.
Yeah,
It is.
Big
They got
Milazzo
100,
game.
150 bags. I think they got this year.
I mean, that sounds about right. I don't know. They don't have the totals in here, but not only do they have 150 bags, they got a guy with 9 homers, right? Who's their best hitter, right? Their center fielder is hitting 383. He's got this is wild, actually. He's got 15 doubles. How does he have 300 plate? That's crazy. 300 plate appearances is a lot.
It's crazy.
I never had 300 plate appearances in college.
Well, then that's where you get into kind of what Hut Palmer was talking about when he
Right,
dug
which
through
we're
the
gonna get to.
numbers.
We're gonna get to. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. He's hitting 383. He's got 15 doubles. That's a pretty good number for college. 10 triples,
Wow.
which is wild, and 9 homers. Okay, he strikes out a decent amount, 47 times, but he's got 42 stolen bases. Only been caught 3 times.
Wow.
So that's their best player. But then you also got a guy that's got 13. You got a guy that got 12. You have a guy that's got 16. So hey, look, they are a running team, but they also have some juice in the lineup. Now, with that being said, Hunt Palmer earlier today tweeted, hey, something is fishy about those numbers. Let's go ahead and look at the competition. No shit, the competition. This is not an insult to Hunt, right? Because that is true. The competition is not as good as the competition LSU played,
Not
but that's
close.
their conference, right? Like that's who they're playing. That is their
Right.
schedule, and yeah, maybe they are going to face higher level pitching than they face probably the majority of the year. But crazy thing about baseball, and you can attest to this, is when you start building this confidence, right, and you feel really good about the way you're playing, sometimes it doesn't matter who's on the other side,
Yeah.
right? And so this team has built their confidence offensively up all year to where, hey, you put them in a little bit of a vacuum, and it's like, hey, you have a few games. Any team can get hot. So
Right.
I understand the idea of it. I understand what you're going for as far as saying, oh, their competition's not as good. But on the other side of it, the player side of it, the confidence thing is a big
Yeah,
thing.
I think in hitting, I think you realize a lot of that because like pitching, a lot of it's just some, if you're walking guys and putting them on, then it doesn't really matter. But stuff is just going to be a lot better out of the LSU pitching
Right.
staff. But hitters, when they're hot, I mean, like you said, you can compete, and I think we'll be able to really separate ourselves from a hitting standpoint. But usually, from a pitching standpoint, I mean.
Right.
I don't know. I think you're right though. I think they could definitely. I mean, dude. Once it's postseason, man, you
No
don't
doubt.
just get many easy wins.
Right.
I mean, it's all freaking. I mean, it's every man for
Nut cutting
himself.
time,
Right.
like, no matter
yeah.
who you played, because Wofford, I'd imagine they feel like they got just to be even get to a regional. Like, all right, that's job done there, but it's like now we want to make noise.
Hey, you know what's crazy too though is did y'all see all the in-state schools, all the Louisiana schools that made regionals?
Seven
too?
of them? 6 of them?
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that?
Crazy.
Like, talk about some good in-state college competition.
6
crazy.
schools. And it's not a huge state. It's
No.
not like Florida.
And most
right,
of
where
them
they
were-
have like all these other big schools.
Got one state school.
6.
And most of them were 2 seeds.
La Tech 2 seed.
UL.
UL 2 seed. LSU 2 seed.
Tulane.
Tulane's a 4. Nichols is a 3, I think, right? Or 4.
Dude, I think we got another 2 seed. I don't know who. I don't know.
Grambling's a 4.
They got tatted up too.
What?
They got tattoos for
Oh, did they?
the regional runs. Pretty sick.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that better than dyeing the hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Commitment.
Like, that's awesome.
But just
That's
it might
great.
make sense for 2 games. But
Hey,
we got 'em.
that's being pot committed, coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's being pot committed to the team there. You know, like, hey, we are going to make sure that we're all going to remember this run for the rest of our life. Ain't no going
you're
back.
gonna remember it.
Yeah, ain't no going back.
But
Go ahead.
looking through some of these like Wofford numbers, and you act like how can you have that many at bats? 3 games, 57 runs. That's nearly 20 runs a game.
Yeah.
Against Lafayette, not UL Lafayette,
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 Indiana.
Indiana. So you score 57 runs in 3 games, the RPI of 244.
Right.
Jeez.
Then you look at Fordham, RPI of 193. You score 48 runs in 3 games. So they had a Tuesday game where they put up 30, and another Tuesday game against Presbyterian where they put up 24.
Right.
So those guys are just boat racing around.
Yeah,
the
no
bases.
doubt. And listen, I'm not.
I don't think they're doing station to station here
Right.
either.
And I'm not just.
Dude,
I'm
we're
not
just
just
getting sorry.
I'm not discrediting, right, their competition. Like, I'm not saying, oh, it's because they're bad, because that is a big reason why. That's a big reason why their numbers are probably as inflated as they
Absolutely.
are. But, you still have that confidence side. You talked about the pitching side. I think that's what separates teams like LSU and
Right.
North Carolina from teams like Wofford. The
Right.
other guys, they don't have
No
the
doubt.
depth on the mound. Wofford's guy, their ace, is going to go against LSU on Friday at 11 a.m. our time, 12 a.m. Eastern time.
PM.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
That
Well,
would
then,
be- that
but
would be
we're
a little
also.
bit different.
But what
Yeah.
makes me nervous, we're also susceptible to get somebody's 82 to 86 throwing lefty.
Right.
And me and you actually talked about that yesterday. It's like, man, I'd rather a guy coming out throwing 94, 95 than that guy flipping and breaking
No
balls
doubt.
in 82, 86. We don't see much of that
Right.
ever.
And it's given LSU trouble a little bit this year, right? But this Zach Cohen's their ace. He's 9-2. He's got a 3.81 ERA. He's got the best numbers as a starter. He's got 104 innings pitched and 118 strikeouts. Doesn't walk a bunch of guys. Like, he's a real deal. Now, we've talked about this before. When you look at numbers, there's other things you want to look at as a hitter. I'm like, okay, what do I want to look at? If I look at, hey, what's the batting average against, right? If this guy's got good numbers, but he's got a high batting average against, that means, okay, well, this guy has strikeouts, but he's getting into some trouble
Yeah.
because few guys are getting hit. Teams are hitting 242 against them. You wouldn't think that's a lot. That's pretty high. That's pretty decent average against a starting pitcher that's got that many innings. on the year. And so I like the matchup. I know for them that's their big key. But if you get them out the game early, you got nobody really behind.
Yeah, true. And that's where your slow lefty come in and play. But still, it's like you just I don't know. I feel like we're just gonna I think you can just show up, especially how these guys are playing right now. It's like, man, everybody wants to win. Everybody's got girlfriends and moms too, but man, I mean, they're playing lights out. I mean,
girlfriends and moms, I like that.
I don't want to disappoint anybody here.
But seriously, it's
well,
like.
Let me ask you this: who starts for LSU?
I think Gage starts.
So there's a conversation that does Luke Holman start game 1, right? And then does Gage jumpstart game 2 because
North Carolina.
Well, because Wofford's got a righty-heavy lineup.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know if that really matters, but there is. I think there is some conversation going on behind the scenes of, hey, do we start Gage or Luke first?
Man, and I think they kind of both. I think they both could each be your ace, your Friday guy. I mean, it's like I don't think one has really emerged more than the other. I think they've both been, obviously our two best starters, but I wouldn't say like, Holman's more dominant than Jump or vice versa. I mean, I think you're kind of – I think actually kind of what you said, I think the matchup is what determines the start. I think who's the better matchup for Wofford.
For what? Yeah. I agree.
Well, that's where I would go. Like, even if you do want to look at the matchup and you want to – people get, like, buried in the numbers and analytics and all of this, but there also is a credence to what you've been doing has been working so well. Like, Gage Jump's been going first. Like, it's a routine type deal to where, like – don't overthink this thing.
Right.
Like you're going to throw one of them either way, so you might as well just keep to what they've been doing throughout the entire year. And if you're Jay, I don't think you want to open yourself up to like public scrutiny of like, oh, why'd you change it now? It's like not like that matters to him, but it's just like, oh, this is what he's done all year. He always tinkers. He changes. Like if it doesn't go well, then you build in that excuse for, I guess, your fan base to be pissed at you.
Yeah.
When it's like, oh, I should have just thrown Gage Jump. Like, and people have been going back to Skenes last year against Tulane where they didn't think that you should throw Skenes, and that came down to you have to win 3 games regardless.
Right.
And so you might as well take one against Tulane. And then the weather situation was so funky that, all right, this is the one day it feels like we'll be able to play on time because your greatest error would have been starting Skenes in a weather delay where he throws 3 innings and that's all you get out of him.
Right.
Yep. Right.
LSU's in a very advantageous position having Gage and Holman.
Oh,
right? Like that's, I mean, look, North Carolina's got 2 good starters, but if you looked at D1 Baseball's write-up on the regional, they said that LSU's starting rotation is the best in the regional, right? Which is, hey, they think their number 1 and number 2 is better than anybody else's number 1 and number 2, and the number 3 starter, as it is for a lot of schools, kind of a mix and match. I figured out.
Man, Ackenhausen looked good.
Looks like he's going to be the third guy.
Jeez, man. I mean, how many he had? And I think he could have got extended, but I mean, he was kind of battling injury or something. So I mean, he only threw like 60 pitches.
Yeah, but he had pitched a lot throughout like the SEC tournament. So it was like, all right, because they interviewed Jay during the game, and he's like, we said pretty much one trip through the lineup. So I'm about to pull him right now after this guy struck him out, and he kept him in for another inning, or to finish off that inning. And he gets another strikeout, so it's like, hey, you might ride the hot hand. And he's like, no, I'm going to get him.
Well, at the same time, I think at that point he realized he had more baseball to play too. And it's like, dude, if you got that guy that goes down who's starting to emerge as your Sunday guy, it kind of puts you in a bad spot. So I mean, it was obviously a smart decision, but, I think he's kind of emerged as that starter.
Well, let's talk this too, though, because we talk about the starters, talk about the bullpen. Christian Lowe got hurt. Right, like seems like it's a lat deal. That's what he was grabbing back here. It doesn't look like it was a rotator cuff or an arm. It looked like it was more of a lat. That's a tricky deal because, I mean, the lat's a big ass muscle, and I don't know how he's feeling. Jay hadn't said much about it, but if it hasn't really gotten much better over the last couple of days, I don't see him throwing this weekend. If he doesn't throw, other guys are.
Worse than a drop.
Other guys are going to step up. And one of those guys that has been throwing really well lately is the veteran on the team.
Yeah, Wild Bill.
Who?
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill?
Will Helmers.
Oh, yeah. Wild Bill. Yeah, Will Helmers.
Wild Bill.
I was like, I mean, dude, he touched 96. He touched 96,
Looks
and
good.
It was real. It was not a gun. It was like
Trackman.
TrackMan. So it was real.
Yeah, having one of those guys come up and step up, whether Little is healthy or not, having a guy like that step up. One, we were talking about confidence. It's like Paul Skenes going out there and McCutcheon hitting well. When you got one of your veteran team leaders goes out there and is throwing well, all those guys, I mean, that just feeds the fire, and they're going to respond well to it. So, and then Thatcher looked good too, and he struggled a little bit, but God, I mean, he had like 5 Ks. Yeah, I mean, he looked good. So. Shoot, those guys stepping up and throwing well. It's always been there. I mean, it's always been there. These guys have had it all year. It's just like it's clicking. And, dude, reality of it is you go in the postseason, whatever happened in the previous games does not matter. So you're basically going there with a clean slate. If you're hot now, whenever you weren't hot, like it's never even happened.
Yeah, no doubt. And you feel that, like you feel them playing that way. You were a part of that team. You were one of the veteran guys on the team, and having big moments in the postseason.
It's great,
right?
Yeah, and like I said, it makes it a lot more. I mean, shit, it makes it more fun. Winning baseball is fun, but whenever you are literally using every single guy, whether it's a veteran that hasn't pitched much this year, I think Helmers has like 14, 15 innings. He hadn't thrown much, but having him go out there and shove.
Had to have him.
That's what I'm saying. Like going out there and shove after going in there throwing 13, 14 innings, and you've been just grinding all year trying to keep the team in it. I mean, you would have thought the wheels were falling off 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I mean, it was like I think I might have seen a Fire J tweet. Like,
I
mean, it was getting that bad.
They were calling Ed Orgeron in LSU Baseball. It's been like, hold on.
I was a little aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah, like what? And now it's like, holy cow. And that's probably one of the guys who kept the wagons on. I mean, kept the wheels on the wagon during that whole time. And now to have him going out, pumping 96, striking dudes out, like in big situations, dude, that's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you play the game right there.
Well, and that's what makes LSU real special, right? Because he's a Louisiana guy.
Yep.
He's been there for 4 years. He loves playing there, and he's got some talent, right? And some guys it happens later, right, in their career, and then you can't really account for how much a guy like that loves playing for LSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he's in there, in the moment means more. He performs. He rises up. So what?
And that
He's got family in the stands too.
No doubt. You got girlfriends and
girlfriend. He's got girlfriends and moms too. But look, and then that spark might be what it is to just turn the dial up a little more. It's not a talent deal. It was literally just taking that one extra step further to turn it up a little bit more and sparking whatever that identity is. At the end of the day, it's like those teams that win championships form an identity. Either early, middle, or late in the season.
What we talked all year, right? They knew who they were.
And when you form that identity, then it's like, okay, there's that extra notch that we needed. And, I mean, anything can happen. Okay. I mean, look, it happened to Ole Miss. I mean, they went in. I mean, they squeaked in. They were a 4 seed when they won the national championship?
Yep.
Squeaked in. Last team in. A few guys came back. Few guys came back from injury, and they found whatever that identity was that they needed. I mean, they were unstoppable. They won a national championship.
No doubt.
And extension. And you go, and everybody thinks, and look, there's been a lot of very good teams with very good players win. I mean, last year was a product for that with LSU, right? I mean, they were loaded, right? They had just with studs. But man, there's a lot of teams that don't have the athletes that go and win championships,
right,
that just literally deserve to be there or made themselves be there. They spoke it into existence. They end up getting hot. Guys are playing just out of their minds, and they go win a national championship. That might have been Ole Miss, and it could be this team.
Right.
You just never know.
Right. You know what I thought was crazy? It's like Milan's been playing great baseball all year. Now with all of the technology and like TrackMan and the way they kind of do all of like the analytics in Major League Baseball, it's trickled down to college baseball. And so you have kind of a better idea. Like you can see with your eyeballs, but then you can actually see with the numbers.
Right.
They have a stat in baseball that is used a lot when they're like determining Gold Glove. And it's defensive DRS, defensive runs saved. Right? How many defensive run saves do you think Stephen Milam has this year?
What's like an average?
I don't know. I don't know the like zero. If you like, obviously, if you're above 0, like you're saving runs.
It's like your WAR.
Yeah, but just only defensively, right? So like, there's guys that have a negative defensive run save where they maybe not get a great defender, they're not getting to balls.
Tommy White at North Carolina State, like that was his, because they've been looking
Right,
at his
and Tommy
defense.
White's got he's
In the
positive
positive
in
now.
yes, right.
He went from like a -5 to a +3, I think, from his first year at North Carolina State to what he's doing this year defensively for LSU. So if he's at 3, I would say conservatively, his mom at like 5, 8.
8.81.
Wow.
Almost 9 defensive run saves. I say this though, because he's playing. You could tell eyeballs. This guy's probably one of our best defenders. If you like college baseball, like if you just like watching good baseball and watching guys that this guy, because like I remember growing up watching the North Carolina teams that went to Omaha 4 straight years, and they had Andrew Miller, and they had all these guys that Dustin Ackley, all these guys that were going to play in the big leagues, but they're young, right? I remember watching Georgia in 2008, having Gordon Beckham, right, as their shortstop, 25 or 26 home runs, was top 5 pick in the draft. I got to play with Gordon for a year in Pro Bowl, which is awesome. But like, you see these guys and you get to kind of like, damn, those guys are really good because you don't really see them all year. There's a guy that plays for North Carolina. What?
No.
There's a guy that plays for North Carolina, and his name is
Honey in the Cut.
Honey in the Cut. His
Man's lurking.
yeah,
Feeling and peeving.
he is. I'm looking up his numbers right now because I want to like do it justice.
What's his defensive?
His name is Vance Honeycutt, right? He's
Yeah.
a center fielder, and
It's not a
his
baseball
defensive run saved, and Milam's was good, right? Almost 9. His defensive run saved 13.9, so 14 runs saved again.
center.
During the year, in center. So he's the fastest guy on the field,
Jeez.
most athletic guy on the field. He's at 2020 year, 2 years in a row. He's a guy that you want to watch, right? Because he's unbelievably talented. You don't get to see him. You didn't pay attention to him because you're early in the SEC, and he's gonna be your first rounder, right? So this part of being able to watch postseason baseball is you get to see that kind of stuff against guys like, I mean, dude, Chris Bryant played at, was it Nevada? No, where did he play?
Yeah, Nevada.
Was it Nevada?
Hey,
Chris Bryant?
Jay.
Yeah, right, at Nevada. You didn't see him. Aaron Judge played at Fresno State.
Right.
You always
You
saw
know?
him win the home run derby.
Right, like you didn't get to see,
You
but
didn't even know who he
like
was.
in
What
the
the fuck is that big dude?
there's a guy.
I know way at Fresno State that he comes in and hits like 30 home runs in the College World Series.
Right.
Oh, I bet he better.
You would-
6'10".
Yeah,
No
you
doubt,
thought he
right?
was
So, aluminum bat.
You got that guy in Oregon State, Bazanza or whatever his name is. He's supposed to go 1 overall. Like, you have all these guys that you don't really get to see that you get to see now. It's highlighted in college baseball, which is really cool. And this regional has a lot of them. Vance Honeycutt is one of those guys. Obviously, LSU's got a few. And you want to see what team rises up to the occasion and plays the best against the best competition. So I'm excited for it. There's a lot of conversation around it. At the end of the day, you know who LSU is now. You know the team that they have on the field. And you feel like you know the lineup they're going to put out. Right? Now you go out there and just play.
They 9-3 with Broswell in the leadoff spot.
9-3 with Braswell in the leadoff spot. He's played better. He played better defense in the tournament. Only had 1 error in the tournament. He's had 2 home runs, I think, in the tournament, right?
Yeah. He had 1 going into it.
Right. And so you know who they are. And enjoy the competition. There's not much more we can preview, I don't think.
Yeah, I think, a lot of things in the postseason, you get out of routine, especially when you're on the road, and it kind of shows why having a home field advantage or hosting is so beneficial, because these guys, I mean, think about it, they played all the way to the championship game. They didn't leave Hoover until Sunday night, I'm guessing. I'm sure they got in late. Monday,
Off day.
They practiced yesterday.
And a little bit today.
They practiced this morning, so they got up, and then you get on a flight, you fly there, get in the hotel room, and then I guess you practice tomorrow, and then
So they'll have a dinner tonight, and then they'll go tomorrow, and they'll get on the field tomorrow. I don't know what time, but they'll practice tomorrow, and then go through their routine, and then they play at noon Eastern time.
So it's like, man, you're so whacked out of the routine you've been doing all year, and your recovery is so important, but it's just totally looked over whenever. And look, I'm sure the training staff and the strength staff and everybody, nutrition, that's all being taken care of. But still, it's like a lot of that stuff is out of your control.
Right.
And I mean, dude, that's the team that recovers the best. Like, you might think you're going 100% because of adrenaline, but you're firing at 60 and 70 because you haven't recovered. And it's just because you've been on the road.
Or the other part of
not
that
enough
is,
sleep, whatever.
The other part of that is, for me, it wasn't the first game of a road trip. It was the second game of a road trip that I really felt the exhaustion.
Well, yeah, and then, like.
Right? Because the first, like you said, you have the adrenaline, right? So you get off, you get there, you know you're playing, like you know you got to get ready. And then you go back to the hotel after the game, whether you win or you lose, and you go to sleep. Right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to get a good night's sleep. It was always that second day that I woke up, damn, a little jet lag, a little heavy legs. Okay, now you got to figure out how to get it going again.
We went to Oregon State my junior year.
That's a far trip.
Oh, my. Dude, we had to stop in, like, Colorado Springs and fuel up. Like, it was the
two-parter.
No, the plane could. We stayed on the same plane, but we had to get fuel.
Yeah.
Like, the fuel, it wouldn't reach. You know, it was a charter plane. It's storming in Colorado Springs, like hailing. And we got to put the bird down. You know, we freaking land in Colorado Springs, get back up. I mean, it was miserable. Of course, we were wearing suits.
Oh.
It's like, it was like
fucking hot.
like it's like, dude, we're flying. We'd always wear the suits and stuff. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it would have been nice to wear some sweats, you know, but we get there and then everybody gets like sick because the pollen and trees and everything's so different. When you're thousands of miles away from home, everybody's like sick, sneezing, coughing, and it's like, dude, this is
miserable,
horrible,
yeah,
terrible.
You know, the entire team's sick. We haven't slept. We were on a plane for longer than we've been here. I mean, it was
in a suit,
sweating. It was like, and that's just one day of travel, you know. And then you show up, and it's like, oh, now we gotta play against the best team in the country. I think they won the World Series that year. It's like, and then you're playing against the next team in the country. It's like, holy mackerel. Northwestern State's up there. They're giving us hell. You know, I mean, it's like you travel however many 6,000 miles up there, and you're playing freaking Oregon. Or you're playing Northwestern. It's like, golly, I mean, we're struggling beating them during
regular
midweeks.
season.
Right.
Now we gotta go play them up here, and they're pissed. You know, because they had to do the same thing, but they flew commercial.
Drove.
They flew commercial.
So let me ask you this. And this is
I don't want flights coming out of Natchitoches.
Jeez, none. No, they probably had a bus to New Orleans.
We probably went to Baton Rouge.
Golly.
You have you're talking about this traveling, right? And like baseball is very much. I mean, that's why they call it regionals, right? It's a regional sport. I brought up the North Carolina 4 seed playing the hottest probably 2 seed out there. Do you foresee? And I don't even know if it's possible because of the teams like Long Island and Northwestern and Nichols and those schools that don't really have a ton of resources, to where they're gonna have to fly to like, you know. I guess my question is: do you ever see college baseball seeding 1 through 68 or 1 through 64, and saying, hey, the number 1 overall seed has the 64th team as a 4 seed, and then you go down there, like the top 16 seeds play the worst 16 seeds as a 4 seed. And then, you know, you go down until you get to the matchups. That would be like the seeding. They don't do that in college baseball.
Right.
Right? So, like, there's no, like, oh, LSU's a 2 seed. They're going to play the high 2 seed. They're going to play the worst host site. Right. That's not how it's worked. It's just regionally.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think they did that. They did that to us definitely our junior year. There's nothing regional about Oregon State.
Well, that's what I mean. They did it to me my junior year. They put us in L.A. against the top 2 pitchers in the draft.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah. Fuck that.
It was terrible. Dude, it was atrocious. And, you know, like, no excuse to – I mean, we did lose, like I said, to the –
pollen.
Jeez. And look, they ended up winning the World Series that year, but still, it was like that did not help us at all.
Right.
In giving us a chance to win. Because, like I say, everybody was just gassed.
And that's where, like, if you want to find – like, that's what LSU – I mean, they kind of did that to themselves, right? Whenever you start off 3-12 in conference, you don't exactly – start saying, hey, we should host a regional.
No doubt.
You're playing up to the last game of your regular season to try to get into the tournament.
Right.
And so you're able to turn it on late, like we said. Like, they kind of found.
What was
found
that? Yeah.
Good line up in the slots.
Good
and
team.
where everybody should be, and it felt like it happened late.
Yeah.
But now you feel more confident than ever with LSU going, and that's where you spin the narrative into, well, nobody wants to see LSU at their regional, and as opposed to it being at an Oregon State or UCLA that holds 2,300 people, and I'm sure they were fired up to see you all there. Like, that has no juice at all.
Right.
And then you play two guys that can shove. For LSU, they're going to North Carolina, not as far away, clearly. And then you have a matchup where you played yourself into a 2 seed that feels like, all right, we can get our feet underneath us, play a Wofford team that's good, but they're not the North Carolina team that you have circled. So it feels like a different set of circumstances.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
I think the way they ended the season, not necessarily how they were playing, but the pressure that they had on themselves the last 5 weeks of the season, I think that's going to help them with the adjustment of that, right?
No,
like,
right
hey,
now,
because like
bushy
there's
tail.
hey, we've been doing this for 5 weeks, like we're used to it. Like there's been a lot of pressure on every single game because we've put ourselves in such a big hole. So I think that's gonna.
I think that plays a huge difference too. Like, especially for a Wofford team who's, I would imagine, excited to play LSU, but it's going to be a lot of, whoa, this is big time. Where LSU's like, we've been to Warren back twice since this thing started, so it's kind of another day. But for you can spin that either way, where Wofford would be almost have more juice,
Right.
Because they don't have this opportunity every year, and LSU's expected to be in a regional, much less they should probably host a regional.
Right. That's yes, for sure.
Yeah, and that's super regional. I mean, you don't know what could happen in that Arizona.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? DBU is the 25th team ranked in the country. They're in the top 25.
Yeah.
So DBU's got to go to Arizona and play an Arizona team who, I mean, that's a pretty good draw for DBU.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm not saying Arizona's not good, but like,
Right.
they have an opportunity to go and win. If they do upset them,
We get the host.
super is if LSU takes care of business.
Yeah. And,
Right.
and then you're looking, I mean, hosts are super at the
Yeah.
box. I
With
don't
number
care.
1 and number 2 guys you got,
Yeah, I don't care who you are, man. It's hard
it's
to
a
come in
different
there.
ball game
Yeah,
right there.
I mean,
No doubt. It's going to be fun to watch.
Could you imagine if they get out of the regional that they just got in, and from where LSU was, I don't know, a month ago? Yeah, this is 1 month ago. One of the comments on our stream, LSU Baseball versus Arkansas, Game 1 recap, 8-ball rolling, 8-7-3. LSU Baseball freaking suck. Need to leave the SEC, embarrassing the LSU Tiger name. I saw this yesterday. So I replied, well, what about now? 1 day ago. And he comes crawling back. My guy, 8-ball. I am so sorry for the comment I said about our Tigers. I regret it completely. These players showed up and made a fool out of me. I feel like they have a shot at it. Real sorry I said those comments, man. I'm real proud of these kids and what they've done the second half of the season of the tournament.
Hey,
go Tigers.
Look, I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
You got to turtle back in your shell a little bit sometimes. That's something you're wrong.
That's funny.
Emotions, prisoner of the moment.
Leave the SEC? Are you
Leave.
kidding me?
Get out of here.
Leave the SEC?
That was a bold move. That was a
Holy
bold statement.
cow.
That
So
was
it's
one
like-
way to wrap that. That could have gone a multitude of ways.
that
You could've-
apology was like, okay, I've just totally had an outburst.
I don't even remember typing.
I don't even remember. I don't know. I blacked
When did
out.
I do this? It must have been hammered. I don't even know what happened there.
Yeah, the 8-ball.
Yeah, right. The 8-ball took
Living up
it.
to
I
the
blacked out. Forgot what I was saying.
I'm sorry. I'm real sorry, man.
We're gonna be watching the game in here, kind of live streaming it, right? Like, obviously, we're not gonna show the game on the screen, but we're gonna talk about it, watch it like we did a little bit last year. We haven't been able to do as much of that this year, but they didn't have a lot of. They had like a lot of Tuesday games this year.
Yeah, Tuesday and some of the series starting on Thursday.
It was a weird
schedule,
deal.
As opposed to last year, I feel like we backed into a lot of
Yeah,
like watch the game with us on a Friday.
Yeah.
And then this year we kind of didn't really have the opportunity to do it, and so always a good time watching it with the.
No
fellas.
doubt.
Last time we did it, I believe was Game 3 of the College World Series.
yep, that turned out pretty well.
That one was good.
Yep, and so we're gonna obviously do that here on Friday on our show. We're not done with our show, but the recapping or the previewing of the game is going to continue throughout the course of the week through Friday. But I want to pivot away from baseball for a second.
Real quick before we leave.
Okay.
We touched on the Christian Little situation, and they said that they should have an announcement tomorrow. But going off of Jay's quote from, I believe, Monday or Tuesday, and this is on Christian Little South, he said he's doing okay, but we'll have to see. And this is the part that I want to get y'all's opinion on. It's tricky because in that time of year where if you can't pitch, you can't be on the roster because of potentially playing 5 games in 3 or 4 days. I'm optimistic based on where the pain is and talking to Isaac Trujillo, but it will be about how fast he can recuperate. He'll travel with us, but it's a Thursday decision if he'll be on the active roster with us or not. And so that's what I find interesting. If he's not even
Active roster for the regional.
Yeah, just for the regional.
Yeah.
But then that means you would go into
Well, I mean, there's no point putting him on the active roster if he can't pitch.
right. But it feels like if it's close on a Thursday, you would put him on the active roster for the games 2 and 3, right? You would hope that he would shake back.
If they feel like he's progressed enough to
Right.
potentially throw on
See what you're
Sunday,
saying.
you're gonna do it. But if they feel like, hey, like
You
even
can't
if he
pitch.
progresses enough, he's 60%. We're not gonna force that, and you're gonna be inactive.
Right. And it's
I mean, you're a
probably
pitcher.
like,
You've
yeah,
probably
I
been
mean,
through that.
Sometimes it's like, hey, let's take a few days off and then throw. Sometimes you're waiting back on some imaging too.
Yeah.
I mean, It's
Right.
like, hey, let's see what this looks like. You get MRI, and you'll just naturally wait 2 or 3 days waiting on whatever that is going to look like, and then that kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at, and then you're kind of playing it off the player. Which, to be honest with you, it's like if it was serious, they wasn't going to feel much better 2 or 3 days later.
right.
Like if it was like, man, I just really
It's put
met
toast.
yeah, you got a few weeks before you're feeling back to pitching in postseason baseball. So,
Right.
I don't know. There's really no telling what they're dealing with, but I mean, the likelihood of him throwing is probably slim because I think you can get through it without him. And then there's no sense in pushing him and then not having him for the rest of the year. I think you just say, look, let's just take some time off, and then
Yeah.
you
Have him for the
have him
you
for
get through
the
it and have him for
Super,
the run.
hopefully Omaha.
And I think that what you saw from Helmers and what you saw from Dutton and what you saw from
Ulloa,
Guidry lately and Ulloa, I think that's given
Lower.
Jay a little bit more. Huh?
Lower, Lauer.
Yeah, I'm talking about just righties though.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, I think that's given Jay more options than he probably thought he had a month ago.
Absolutely.
Right? And so that also gives them, okay, hey, we're not going to force this kid out there. We're going to let him get ready for a super regional or an Omaha run, and we're going to go with the guys we've got. Because, look, Helmer's threw great over the weekend or through the tournament. Dutton's been great. Dutton's been. You know what you're going to get from him. You're not going to get balls. You can get a lot of strikes. He'll go out there and give you an inning or two.
Coleman.
What?
Coleman.
Javen.
Javen Coleman.
Yeah, from the left side.
he looked good.
Yeah, he was, had some
Really good.
Coleman moments, got out of it, didn't give up the runs, right? Then you have Thatcher, who's been throwing well. So I think Jay's got enough. I'm saying these because these are right-handed guys, right? And you're losing a big righty that's going to throw
In the
high
same
velo,
matchup.
power righty. And so I'm talking in a matchup standpoint. Jay's got enough righties, I think, to replace that and not get super worried about it. And you got the lefties, like, 4 lefties out the pen, not counting Griffin, right? Because Griffin's your guy no matter what, out the
Right.
pen. And you got Lower, who's been good recently for an inning, right? Like you throw him out there, hey, here's your matchup guy. You can get you out of an inning, whatever.
Get a batter.
Primo, kind of the same thing, right? I know he only threw a couple times, but like his last outing in a big moment looked
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
You know what I mean? Like, so obviously Jay, he was like, okay, if I have to, I can throw him out there for an inning, right? Then you have Coleman, who did what he did, right? Ackenhausen's probably going to be the starter,
Right.
the third starter. So you're going to hold him off.
And if he goes 5 or 6 innings, you're looking at a totally different bullpen
No doubt.
situation.
No
Like
doubt.
if he can give you like that performance for 5 or 6 innings, goal. That's game changer because you're able to conserve a lot more guys.
Well, and that's why I kind of brought it up because if Christian Little can't go, I'm wondering how you kind of restructured that pen. You named a lot of names that have looked good recently, but you could still find yourself in a situation where those guys haven't necessarily been there. Christian Little has worked his way to be in that spot where you trust him a little bit more and been there in like high leverage situations.
Yeah.
And now to just kind of take that bullet away, it doesn't
No
feel
doubt.
like something that you can gloss over, especially if you talk about Nate being your third guy. There's probably now a spot where you see Nate in a game as a reliever because this would be Christian Little, just in terms of who I trust to go out there, not lefty, righty dominant or anything like that. But if that comes to that, then you lose kind of like your Sunday guy maybe.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you don't have to use Griffin against Wofford,
Right.
I
right?
would like for them to face him though, just to see.
Huh?
I just want to see them go up against him.
Wofford?
Yeah,
I'd rather
that's-
North Carolina go up against
Well, no, but I just want to see Wofford after you played the teams with 200 RPI. See Griffin.
No, right. Like, I understand that.
Like,
but
oh, this is
you
this
may
is
not have
hard.
to. Listen, it may be Gage or Luke Holman may go CG. You know,
Gabe's
like
been flirting with one.
they both have. I mean, Holman has the ability to go 9 innings at 100 pitches.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say.
Right,
He was
like-
at like 50 the
Yeah.
other day. Like, holy
Yeah,
cow.
he has a chance to do that, right? And like obviously that would change the entire dynamic of the regional if they did that. But no, I'm with you. I think those righties that I named are going to collectively have to replace him. I think Guidry's good. He's going to be able to get you a couple. I think Uyo has shown you he can go a couple. And you're just going to have to piece that together, right? Like you're not going to have like Christian can go 4. You don't really have many righties outside of Thatcher that can do that.
You can ride that roller coaster.
And
you
if
want for 4 innings.
Thatcher goes
Right.
and comes out and does what he's been doing, that's a huge boost.
Right.
So
I mean, it's almost too perfect for this to happen. Where Thatcher is like, we have to have you, and it comes with if Christian Little's out. Now you have Thatcher that has, I wouldn't say, I think even he would say not his best year, but
Right.
there's still those glimpses of holy shit.
Man, his stuff
Right.
is lights out.
It plays.
I always said he was a starter, and I would have kept him as a Sunday starter and just let him keep working through what he had because
Well, you
I mean,
kept getting 10 runs in Sunday games,
Yeah,
so you
but-
had to change something.
But you were also still losing with all
After.
the other guys. I mean, even if you didn't start, you still lost on Sunday. So it's kind of like, well, I'm going to lose with the guy that
I didn't even mention
wanna,
Kate Anderson. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I want to lose with the guy that's going to be my Sunday starter late in the season, you know,
Right.
when it actually matters, and let him get through it. If you're going to just keep losing, then you didn't really find a solution to winning on Sundays. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
That's just me because
doubt.
it helps. You know, having Johnny Holstaff every Sunday really bites you in the ass.
Yeah, it's tough.
later, I
You got to be
mean-
perfect when you do that. Yeah, it's hard.
And that's
Or
usually
your
not the
offense is gonna have to
case.
score 15 runs on that
Right.
Sunday.
And that's usually not the case. But like him stepping up in Omaha and doing well, and then Ty Floyd and then Paul, I mean, obviously Paul's going to do what he did, but then Ty having 17 Ks doing his deal, and then Thatcher throwing really well, that wins you the championship.
No doubt.
That's the formula.
That is the
Yeah,
formula.
and having 3 guys that can go out there and dominate.
I'm excited to watch
Thatcher.
postseason baseball, and it's the roller
Makes
coaster.
me so
right? Just to
there's
see,
nothing
like,
funnier to me than him pitching.
I mean, you never
It
know.
just makes no sense in the world. Like he's got 96, 98 with like wipe out secondary pitches, and sometimes he's like, not today. It's like, all right, cool. See
Or
you next
today,
week, dude.
today and not today.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's both.
I think he'll be good. I think
You
this
can say
is-
that without any confidence because
I-
you don't know.
I-
Nobody
I-
knows.
I think it'll be good because he's showing he's showing
Incremental
where he
improvements.
was. Yeah.
Yep.
So you would think that
2
every
outings
time
in a row are pretty good. He had 1 bad inning and 2 outings, right? Like, that's progress.
Progress. Best
So-
fish all year.
We'll see what happens. It's on Friday at noon. We'll be watching live in here. Do you have any other questions on the baseball side before we move
Yeah,
on?
I'm curious on what you want to get into.
Well, I saw an article. It's football, but it's with
Yeah.
the Saints.
Ugh.
And it just I saw it pop up, and
I just read the headline. Didn't yeah.
no, I read the article.
Oh.
Yeah, and we talk about the Saints wanting an offensive coordinator, like being creative, and they got Clint Kubiak, who's supposed to be more creative, and then you watch the Saints offense for the last 4 or 5 years, and you're like, how come you don't utilize Taysom Hill the way like last year they used them probably the best they've ever used them. And I'm reading this article, Clint Kubiak wants Taysom Hill only to play tight end and running back.
No quarterback.
And which I think I love that. Right? Like I'm not trying to get into like the whole football conversation, but you know, talking regional baseball for an hour and a half is hard to do. Especially when you've gone through everything.
Well, I've never liked a 2 quarterback offense.
Me either.
Like college,
But also
because I mean, think about some really good teams.
right.
They weren't running 2 quarterbacks. I mean,
Right.
you never saw somebody run out there playing for Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady doesn't play everywhere, but it was the same thing with Peyton Manning. It was the same thing with Drew Brees. I mean, having that one quarterback that's going to go out there and be your ride or die, and I think it, you know, it's like you don't want to have too much going on.
Yeah. No,
you
I'm with
know?
you. And they use him as like a power back
Do you
in
not
that
remember
position.
2011 LSU, dude? They had 2 quarterbacks one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, that's why they didn't win.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
But I mean,
But look, I think I've always said it. He looks like a running back, right? Like, and then, you know, he comes out the backfield. He can put him at the H back. It just to me, it just makes a lot of sense. And I don't know. To me, it was refreshing to see. Okay, OC's actually gonna like
yeah.
try to do something a little differently, and make
other
it a
than
little more
have
creative.
Taysom Hill being your up back,
Exactly.
punt protector.
Exactly.
Like, what is he a quarterback or is he your
Right.
punt protection man?
Exactly. That was my thing.
But for Kubiak and everything that he's done and like the systems he's come from, obviously from the 49ers, what he sees in Taysom Hill is Kyle Juszczyk. That's
Right.
That's how he wants to use him. He's
Right.
like,
Right.
and it's vital for that offense to work to have a fullback that can play. Like they split Juszczyk out wide and he runs routes.
Juszczyk is a
Stud.
yes. He's a he is a offensive threat. Like the fullbacks that we have are literally just for blocking. Right? We as in the Saints, they don't really have any action other than that, and they're not in all the time. Now you have a fullback you can split out. You have mismatches now. You have a guy who go out there and beat a defender and make plays, and I like it. I mean, I think he's been literally in the tight end room and the running back fullbacks. That's it.
Yeah, and I thought that was the biggest change for me. Like when you think about the Saints and how it's been stuck in mud since.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say stuck in mud, but what they were using under the Sean Payton, Drew Brees era never changed, except for those two pretty big pieces to that puzzle. Like literally, the orchestrators of the offense aren't there. And you're like, well, it's going to run it back and do exactly what we did when Sean was here, and that clearly didn't work. And it felt like they were all doing kind of not really anything that was innovative or something that you felt like, oh, the Saints could sneak up on you here with some good play calling. It was a lot of bickering between the offensive linemen and Carr and getting sacked and bitching some more, and then Michael Thomas quits and comes back and quits again. And it's like, I'm so tired of watching this fucking movie.
He's still a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, good. Saints should sign him. But like that was just you were stuck in mud.
You think that's like a personal thing he's got going on, or like what is the issue? Like he shows up, he's like the dude, right?
For
and then,
3 years.
For
awesome.
3 years, and then it's like,
He got hurt.
And he's like, you don't even really want to play football.
He got the big contract, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
If you ask him,
You don't want to waste your time messing with that, though.
what?
I mean, I don't care. Just it takes the focus off of what everyone's trying to accomplish, right? And that's win football games.
Yep.
I think he was peeved at how his injury situation played out with the Saints, like medical staff.
So
And then
keep that
it
in
kinda-
house, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But he came out and he's talked about it like blatantly on Twitter. They need to delete his Twitter. It's like
Right.
you're such you're
that's the pettiness
It's like
of like
dating in
social
junior
media.
high.
Yeah, it's tough. It's terrible.
like, bro, I don't care.
So
Break up with me.
So that's what I wanted to get to. I just wanted to have a different conversation. Just to, look, we're getting into the period where we're gonna have to start generating some good
Content.
some good sports conversations.
well, what else you want to talk about sports or being a sportsman?
Sportsman.
Sportsman. Mikey was telling me he went shrimping and crabbing this weekend, and
Oh, I
maybe
did.
a little bit of fishing.
I did all of the above. We caught a bunch of blue crabs. Bunch.
Recently got in a duck lease.
You got crabs?
I recently am a part of a duck lease. I got bullied into that one.
Dude, you're like gonna be
I'm
Mr.
an
Sport,
outdoorsman.
literally just all around Mr. Sportsman. Doesn't
I'm
matter on the field, in the field,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be Mr.
I mean, the next thing you know,
He
I'll
is
be
the Louisiana sportsman.
next thing you know, I'll be having a backpack on me. I'll be walking through the woods of Montana with Clay and his
we
his
got
Tommy.
baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
eating off the land, hunting and gathering.
Hey, look, you could be there. It starts with crabbing at the family houseboat,
White
Yeah.
boat, white
And-
boat shoes.
getting in your first duck lease. That's where it starts, and then you end up
Hey, listen to me.
hunting
We
elk
caught
in
we caught
Montana.
a bunch of crabs. And they're awesome. We boiled them 2 days in a row.
12 dozen.
12 dozen. That's a lot.
It's a big
Yeah.
piece. Yeah.
Save a lot of money doing that, not having to buy from the guys out coming in.
Yeah, and you're talking like, I mean, that's a lot, and it was just like
It's
4
for
or
life.
5 of y'all.
And we probably
60 y'all?
we got rid of probably like
Right.
there's a lot of we kept the big ones. And we
Yeah.
threw it, like we probably had a lot more that we probably could have eaten. I just threw back.
I was impressed.
Alive?
I was
It's
impressed
cool.
when you tell me all that. I
That's
didn't
great.
ever strike you as much of a outdoorsman, but we're
Listen,
making baby steps.
Or baby steps. I will never say that I am Bill Dance or
If you could
You
name
know,
another one.
Bear Grylls.
or Bear Grylls or any of those guys, right? But I do enjoy the
No wicked tuna.
no. I do enjoy the occasional
that
hunt.
shit actually is dangerous.
Enjoy the occasional hunt. I love fishing, right? Yeah, so I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Never grew up
See,
doing
that's
that
sports.
stuff, right? Because I was always playing sports. I didn't have anybody in my family that did that. So it wasn't like I didn't have anyone to bring me there. Yeah. Now I'm just got a late start doing it.
This when's the duck hunting lease start? Like when do you?
Well, during hunting season. So we already have it. It's not like it's like a
He just got on. He just
the
got
lease
on the
isn't
lease.
like we hunt out. I mean, I think we hunt out the boat.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I can't wait for. It's like, what the fuck did I
No.
What did I get?
I know. I saw the area. So like, out of our houseboat,
Yeah, you
we
can hunt here.
out of our houseboat, we hunt out of
driveway.
we hunt out of the boat. We don't have an actual like duck blind that we go and brush and do whatever. We hunt out the boat. We have an area, and that's basically what he showed me. I was like, I ain't fucking brushing shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask because there's so much that goes into that.
Hey, I'll help you with the lease. I'll go hunt there. Y'all can do all the hard shit.
You paid to be present in the hunting.
No doubt.
Yeah,
in
you
the
just
hunting.
want to sit at the table.
I'm gonna be out there anyway, duck hunting. So why? I'd rather be a part of something else. I didn't really need to be a part of it, but I'm gonna be a part. It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very small.
No,
piece
but
of
like
it.
that's the next step to going and getting in a deer lease and getting a bow and shooting a bow and then going backpack.
Oh.
Dude, like I said, baby steps,
Yeah,
but that's
it can
where
take
it
some time.
starts.
Yeah, but I got You just
And
gotta,
then you're driving down to the camp whenever it's not even hunting season. You go, I got to go check out this brush.
well, that's the other thing is like, look, I love all that.
I don't know if he'll get there.
I love all that, but like, am I gonna ever get to that point where it's like, oh, I mean, this
Maybe.
is like God damn it, damn it.
It's getting nervous.
Yeah.
This is
Big
like a
bad
childhood
duck.
thing that you grew up learning it and being embraced in it and
You're about to rip
submersion
the
in it.
cover off this thing.
I did not do that, right? So I got a lot later of a start, and it's just like I like other hobbies too, you know. Like you're in it.
I'm
you
in
know?
it. Well, it was so hunting's competitive. So when I got done playing ball, I hunted. I enjoyed. I did it a lot. You know, as much as I could when I was playing. But dude, it's a competitive. It's you versus whatever you're.
I
doing.
do not think about it like
Me
that
either.
at all.
Me either. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I don't see it that way.
Dude,
for me.
when you're
Elmer
be-
Fudd and Wile E. Coyote.
no, like not against the other people. Well, I guess it could be against other people hunting that have had success hunting public land or doing whatever they do. But it's more of against you and the animal that you're going after because they're supposed to be there, right? Like you're in their habitat. Like they're not coming up in here hunting
They don't
us.
have a
You're going
gun.
out there and hunting them, right? But I'm saying, well, it's hard, dude. I mean, you're in their conditions, their environment, and they're, they've lived for thousands of years because they got some good stuff going on too. So, you gotta be the apex predator
With a gun or a bow.
Look, I understand that, right? I do. I get that.
No.
I haven't been around it enough, and like,
But there's a mentality in a sport
There-
and a competitiveness to it.
see, I enjoy the camp part of it. I enjoy the hunting part, but I enjoy
The
like
social club, the social
being with the
aspect.
boys,
Yeah.
right? Like I enjoy
And
that.
that's
part
fun
of it
too. That's
right?
fun too. That's where the team.
That's the
They-
locker
You'd
room.
be a
That's
dugout
true.
guy.
And
Yeah.
that's what I
Locker
said.
room.
That's what I miss the most about sports. Is that, right? Like I miss being in the clubhouse. I miss the camaraderie. I miss all that. And like
Right.
you get that at the camps. And you also get that like you go out there and you hunt and everybody when we went deer hunting, right? Where I was at in Texas this past all season.
That wasn't hunting. That was killing.
You go up to the
Shooting.
deer stands.
Shooting.
Yeah. You go up into the deer stands.
You want to pet him
and
first?
Everybody comes back and talks about whatever story. Oh, they had this guy, they missed it, or whatever it is, right? And so that's similar to like sports. You go back to the clubhouse and you talk about, you make fun of the guy who fucking struck out 4 times or knocked the ball over the fence like I did. Like, you talk about those things, especially after you win. So that's the same thing.
Yeah, the guy shit
Well,
his
and-
pants in the deer stand.
Yeah, well, and as you get more involved and like you start knowing more about hunting and you start doing it more, then you have more stuff to talk about and it actually becomes more interesting too. I mean, if you've got guys here that don't know nothing about baseball or never played, then
Right.
they'd be super uninterested in what we were talking about. They'd
Right.
probably rather talk about hunting. But you take a guy that has actually learned it and wants to get better at it, well, then it starts getting a lot. You would be like, wow, I actually see this as a competitive sport.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get there, but I do. I'll go to the camp.
It takes all kinds, Lloyd.
Yeah, I go to the camp once. I get the invite once a year, and it's a blowout. Not
Yeah,
a lot of
well,
hunting goes on.
yeah.
They had early plans until you're still awake.
The locker room aspect.
Absolutely. I'll vacuum. I'll pressure wash. I'm not gonna get up at 4 a.m. and kill a duck.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll be out there at 5, I bet.
Well, and then being good at hunting, like there's the aiming and the shooting and the sport aspect of it. It's like hitting a good 5-iron. It's like
Now
oh,
we're talking.
It's like well, I put
see,
that
that's
one.
the other thing. That's where I'm at, right? Like, I want to put my time and effort because I'm not good at either one of them,
That's what I was gonna get at.
right? I'm not good at either one of them. Like,
You usually pick one.
I can go and do the hunting thing and do the half-ass hunting thing, which I'm good with, right? Right? I'll eventually get a little bit better at. Listen, if I have a rifle on a deer stand, like that's easy, right? Like you have time, you can sight it and do the whole deal. It's
What are y'all doing there? Like, look at your phone?
You look out into the food plot of the woods and
I enjoy
try to see the
Shit, I
deer.
forgot
And
to put corn in there
it's
last
actually
night.
very
and it's
relax-
actually relaxing,
It
and
is
it's
very
super
relaxing.
cool seeing
It is.
100 to 200 pound animals.
I got to
just
see them fight
out there.
which was awesome.
Did you break it up?
No, you can hear it from 2 miles away though. It's just loud. But so like that's easy. It's like when you go and you're in the blind, and you have these ducks that come out of nowhere, and everybody's you gotta keep your poison. You gotta fucking hit it.
Yeah.
You know, and like.
Don't you ring nobody either.
But the beauty about that is
Fucking new guy.
the beauty about it is if you have 3 guys in the blind and you shoot, fuck it. I killed that was mine.
Yeah.
I claimed
Called it.
I got it. I made it. I was my kill. That was mine.
Mikey, you're on safety.
You know, I did
Yeah,
that.
and you got 3
You
guys.
still have 3 shells in your gun. What do you mean?
3 guys, 10 ducks come in, only 1 should leave.
That's right.
I mean, and if not, then somebody's not doing their freaking job.
Usually that's me. Usually that's me.
Rarely do 10 ducks come in down here, and rarely do
9
one
yeah,
leave.
right.
Usually,
little more than
Non-leave.
usually,
Or you could be like a friend of mine, Gray Westerveld, who thought he had a sniper rifle on ducks this year, and he was shooting them at him way far away. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I know that you came in from there. Like, no shot.
the
But
the
it's fun. It
backpacking-
really is. Duck hunting is really fun. Now you get up early, and you have to go through.
Always hungover.
You know the walk. Yeah, but like it's fun. You bring beer, you hang out, you're doing whatever. It's fucking miserable when it's hot out here.
Or it's
Oh
raining.
yeah, it's well,
Because
just
you got
mosquitoes and
everywhere, dude. You're in the water. It's awful.
Yeah.
Now when it's like cold, not bone
Too
chilling
cold.
cold, but like when it's like 40s. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, and most of the time when the conditions are like that, you're doing it just mainly for the camaraderie, and the hunting is just something to do while you're there.
Yeah.
When the weather's good, then it's like, all right, this is freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But look, I love it. I'm getting better at it. I enjoy being out there. But the golf thing for me is I need to get good at that.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it. Listen, the lessons are grind, right? Like you think you're making progress, and then you take lessons, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take the next step. And you go backwards, like 5 steps. But you got to keep fighting through it because once you get through and you get back, you're going to take off. And that's where I'm at right now.
Golf really exposes how hard it is to learn something that you didn't do when you were young.
Right.
Like if you didn't grow up playing golf, man, it is hard to learn as a grown ass.
It probably
man.
has
My
the biggest fail rate of anything
Holy
that somebody
cow.
thinks that
My
they can pick up and it would
frustration
be
with
fun.
golf is I see people there who are significantly unathletic, like more unathletic than me.
Well, yeah, you're in like you're at a very high level.
I see
of-
people
You're
who
not
can barely
very
walk.
small
Yeah,
percentile
but here's the
of
deal.
what people are.
I see,
I don't see
as-
any other Major League Baseball players out here.
but I see people that can barely walk, right? And that are
they grew up playing it. They've been
and
playing
they
it.
know what they're doing. And then I'm like, okay, swinging something should feel natural to me. And like sometimes swinging a golf club feels so unnatural.
Would you
'cause
rather
you didn't
somebody
grow up
throw it
doing
to
it.
you?
Yes, not a golf ball. I mean, that's hard to. I mean, that'd be.
Incredible. But I knew that this was Mikey's stance on it because we played together, and he was like, "There's no way he should be better than me. Look at him." And like, Mikey,
No,
I've
but
been playing
that's
this since
but
I
like,
was 6 years old.
I understand how that works.
Pissed. I'm pissed.
Oh, he can't play.
Boyd,
with
he
me
can't
anymore.
hit 92.
I understand.
He shouldn't be able to hit a golf ball better
Oh,
than
he's
me.
over there drinking, thinking this is fun.
I understand how it works.
Embarrassed right now.
It just makes it. It's just my.
No, I'm not playing
talk
with
about
you tomorrow.
competitiveness. It's my competitive nature.
You
Right?
can't even dunk.
Yeah.
I mean, it was listen. It's
You can
frustrating. It's frustrating, and
No
then you
way
make the
you can-
progress, and it gets worse. It's like, fuck, this sucks.
I hit it 330.
Sometimes I hit 330 this way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hit 330 this way. Sometimes I don't hit. Sometimes I hit 30.
I got that 230 right down the middle.
My favorite thing about golf, and it's similar to hunting in this aspect, well, I guess you could put it, but the amount of dudes that lie about golf.
Oh, dude.
Unbelievable.
And like some guys will be like, oh yeah, we shot 12, but they actually shot 4 ducks, just to make it seem like they had a better hunt. But I've played golf with a lot of guys. And I'm not good. I don't play much. I mainly go from the camaraderie aspect or somebody invites me. But I can put the ball in the fairway sometimes. But dude, I go play with guys, and I watch them pick up putts like this far away from the hole, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, I shot at 86," and I'm like, "You didn't." I watched you pick up 8 putts, and so every dude, like most dudes that, and I'm just saying from what I've experienced. Maybe I play golf with some shitty dudes, but man, you're lying about your golf score.
Oh, absolutely. And it's
Oh,
the
no,
worst
like,
thing you can do.
That's why
Like
when you play in a stroke play tournament, which is this weekend, which I'm not playing in. My game's not ready for it yet. I get too frustrated. But U Club has their stroke play, so when you play in a stroke play, everything's putted out. There's no my handicap says I can't get it more than a triple. You can shoot a 27 on a hole.
Man,
I've seen it happen.
I have too.
And I'm telling you, that makes a huge
And
difference
listen,
in a lot of these
I will say
average
this.
Joe golfers.
When I really thought, I was like, damn, I'm taking the next step in my golf game. Last year, a year from now, or a year ago, we had our stroke play, and I've never played in a stroke play
Event.
tournament, right? My first round, I shot 88. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
holy shit, like, because everybody's like, hey, dude, if you shoot 108, it's okay. Like, I'm not supposed to, like, my handicap was a 13 and a half or whatever it was, and it was like, they're like, look, if you shoot 100, like, it's stroke plays, if 88, I'm like, and that's an 8 on the first hole.
Yeah, a little
I was nervous. I topped it into the rough, ended up making an 8, but then I had like 3 birdies. It was 88. I was like, oh my God. Now I shot like 95 the next day, but still, like,
ball and hole.
I was like, damn, it's pretty good.
Yeah, because you'll play, like, even when you play some of these people, like, I know what you're talking about, Moffitt, where they go out there and then you see them bump it 16 different times. It's like, you didn't even hit this in the fairway. Why are you hitting it in the fairway now?
and then
they go
you
tell
have
our brother
the
just shot 82.
Yeah.
No, you did.
Then you have the ball and they move it over 2 feet because they have a line of sight. And like, why'd you? Well, you know, lift clean in place. No, bro. Lift clean in place is lift clean and you place it back where it was at, around where it was at. Not, hey, I have a tree in my way. Let me just move it 2 feet so I can have a fucking window.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Hit it to 8
It
feet,
made me
pick it
feel a
up.
bit better about my golf game because I'm like, look, these guys are like, hey, man, that's some hard shit. Like, especially
Well, if you play the rules, yeah, it's really hard.
and then like not just kicking it out of a spot, you know.
No, it's hard, dude.
2 feet because it's there. It's like, no, dude, you got to play that.
And the average
Or you
golfer,
got to go back to the tee box and hit it again.
to your point, the
Insane.
average golfer picks up those 3-footers. Like,
Every
the
time.
average golfer misses those.
Yeah.
There's
lot
a
of
reason
times.
they're picking them up because they don't want to see you hit them.
Right.
Like, oh, no,
Right.
good.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. Listen, that's what I'm working on. You know, I'm working on the golf game. Like, I'm doing both. I'm getting really good. The fishing thing, I am all on board with. Like, I'll
You
fucking
can go fishing.
I enjoy being on the boat. I enjoy going fishing. I
You
enjoy
don't
all
get
that.
seasick?
No.
No, that's perfect.
Only time I've been almost got seasick was when Mike Hollander, we were in Cancun for a family vacation like 6 years ago. And Mike was like, hey, let's go near shore. It wasn't offshore. It was like, you know, but we had to get out there. And
Where the sharks are.
we woke up, and if you don't know Mike Hollander, he's going to, like, if he wants to do something, he's going to convince us that it's still going to be fun, no matter if the weather's bad or whatever. So we wake up in the morning to go, and it's rocky. Like, 5 foot.
Yeah, that's like, and
Not good.
it gets like you got rollers out there,
Yeah,
man.
and so we are in this thing, and I'm sitting in there, and I'm like trying to keep my eyes closed. I don't really get seasick at all. And I'm like, all right, I gotta just keep my eyes closed, which is not what you're supposed to do.
no,
No.
you're supposed to look
know.
at horizon.
The horizon.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. So then I wake up to me being this high off the seat because we hit a wave. Like, that's how rocky it was. And I looked at Mike, and Mike goes, yeah, I fucked up. We shouldn't be out here. I'm like, oh my
It doesn't help
God.
us now.
And so then we make it out there, and finally when we get out there, it calmed down. I was like, okay, we're good. We ended up, you know, caught a shit ton of amberjack or, you know, whatever. But, yeah, I don't get seasick, so it's good. Now, the crazy thing about this is, I know people didn't tune in to listen to us talk about this, but this is part of it, right? This is part of the show.
Yeah, you'll get all the baseball you want on Friday.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this is I have a friend who goes fishing a lot, Lloyd, like a lot. Grand Isle, offshore, near shore, whatever you want.
She's probably outside right now.
It's crazy, man. Like, he loves to fish. And I thought we were tight. I don't ever get invited to
Who
these
you
fishing
talking about?
games.
Who you talking about?
You.
Oh!
No, man. Look,
He goes, you should come. Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Just you got to let me know when you're going.
No, I'll let you know
Mikey's
after.
a busy guy, man. So,
This
a
guy's
lot of the
busiest
fishing
guy.
I go on is like last minute. Hey, we're going. Strap it up. Let's go.
I'd rather
When
be
you
able. I'd
got
rather,
a busy schedule and everybody wants to hang around Mikey.
I'd rather be able to tell him
It's
no.
hard to invite him places.
It is. You're
It's
telling
not
me.
hard to invite. It's hard to get.
It's hard to get a yes.
Get him to say yes.
But inviting's
Right.
the easy part.
But then when he wants something from you,
We'll go fishing.
No. I do. Listen, I'm a give and take guy. I give too.
We'll go. Well, I get to go a lot because I fish a lot, and so then I'm useful.
you have to take some initiative.
I'm useful on the boat. They're
Well,
like,
that's the
"Oh,
thing.
I want
I'm
that."
definitely not useful on the boat.
So that
So
it's
yeah,
look,
right.
it's hard to get invites when you're not useful
Right?
on the boat.
No doubt.
Not saying
I
it's
understand
not
that.
against
I gotta,
the person
like,
or nothing.
I have to rely on a lot of people, right? I'm not driving a boat. I'm working on that. You know what I mean? But I
whenever
enjoy
you're
being out there.
Fade a
useful,
hook.
I mean, I can do all that.
you get a lot more bites. I mean, you get a lot more invites whenever
Invites.
you're useful, and bites because people want you to go try to catch fish. Look, when you're doing offshore fishing, it's a lot. Like you got.
I'm not saying we have to go offshore. Really, we can do.
Yeah.
You can ease me into that.
Would-
And we don't have to go offshore. We can do a bunch of different things too.
Just stand
you'll
by
be
it. You
good.
could go golf and fish at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what the legit guys that would rather be fishing, but they're also really good at golf. Is a Tyler Leday, like kind of done with golf, but goes out there and shoots 68 every time he plays. It's like he brings a fishing pole in his bag, and we're like, oh, a couple over here, like nobody's around, like we'll come back.
Wow,
Like,
Wow.
It's the last thing I'm thinking about.
that's impressive.
But yeah, I'm of no use on the boat. I don't want to touch the fish. I don't want to touch the hook. I can cast it though. I got the release point down. That's why. After it gets in the water, I'm useless. Like I'm not good at fishing. I didn't think it took a certain skill set, but there's a whole bunch of tricks that you got to learn. And I do not catch any fish ever. So I love being on the boat though.
Yeah.
And my trick
that's
is-
fun, man. We went this weekend and it was just being out there was awesome.
Yeah, that's it. I like being out there.
Yeah.
Good music,
Beer.
in the sun,
Yep.
catching a few fish, just good time.
Catch the fish, bring it back, eat the fish.
Dude, we
Clean
made
the fish.
fried fish po' boys.
Fuck yeah. See, like that shit.
I mean, we literally caught the fish. The fish wasn't even. We caught it that day. Brought it home. Had fried fish po' boys for lunch. Lettuce, tomato, the works. Unreal.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's
Hunter-gatherer. You're a provider.
yeah. I guess.
So I just bring everybody always brings beer on the boat.
You're just the fun.
Yeah, then they don't want beer the next day because we got shit-faced the night before. So I always would bring, like, vodka. And then everybody wants my drink now because, like, I don't want to
of course.
touch a beer.
I
It's
see,
like,
and that's the thing is I'll do that.
I brought the
I'm
whole
not-
fifth boys.
I'll drink a
We're
couple
gonna be
beer,
okay.
but
Yeah.
when you're out on the boat, beer gets hot quick.
Quick.
And I don't like that. I hate hot beer. Anyway, that's our stories of hunting, and I'm learning. I'm getting there. What else, Lloyd?
A couple of questions in the chat just to
Perfect.
get
So we didn't do Ask Mikey and Mitch today, obviously, because Mitch is not here.
Ask Mikey and
And
Moffitt.
Moffitt.
And we could have done Ask Mikey and Moffitt, but didn't we say we wanted to postpone it for the game?
Yes.
So, but if you do have questions, me and Clay Moffitt would love to answer.
Yeah, get your questions in the chat. Anything that you haven't asked. Obviously, one from here. Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this, ask M&O, which works.
Still works.
No, MNC, I think that's me. Put me in there. But I'll give up my spot, yes. Castaway, top 5 movie? That's a hard no for me.
Let me tell you this. It's a great
good
movie.
It's
good.
Everything comes full circle in that movie, and that's what's cool. How they wrap it up with the package and deliver it. It's got the wings on it. And
Yeah.
He sees the girl.
See,
That's
but
crazy.
here's when I say
He
top,
fall in
when
love with
I
her?
think a top 5 movie, right?
I don't know.
What'd you say?
They fall in love?
Oh, his wife left him.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it shows that she was single though.
I believe so.
So
And her
I
name
guess
was
that's
Jenny
kind of
from a throwback, another movie.
Yeah, another Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
Now,
Full
when you
circle.
say
Yeah.
Castaway top 5
AIDS.
movies, when I think top 5 movies, it's like, okay, when it's on TV, I'm always gonna watch it,
Yeah.
right? When Castaway's on TV, I have to be in a specific mood to watch
If I'm
it.
at the camp, I'll watch Castaway.
Yeah, but like I have to be in a specific mood.
so dude that
It's a great movie. Top 5, no.
See, I would say Wilson.
Wilson.
Spalding.
I knew it was one of them.
Gordon. Our baseballs.
Nike.
I knew it was one of them.
But
Dude, that's a good movie.
I would say it would
It's
have
a
been an
great
all-timer if he had obviously mailman or whatever he was. You can't open the packages. It's like their credo.
Right.
It would have been hilarious if it was a satellite phone in there and he could have avoided all of this and just had he just opened the package.
It
Would
has
have been a
sad
great
phone.
twist.
It would have been.
And he's like, oh,
His
shit.
FedEx pilot.
Yeah, so you can't open the mail.
Right.
But if he would have been, it would have been a sat phone.
Dude, that would.
I'd
Could
probably
you
kill
imagine
myself.
sitting on that island for what? It was like 300 days or whatever. It was
long
it was
enough
years.
to talk to a volleyball and be upset when you couldn't.
Holy cow! And then he had people going by like planes flying, and they.
Can't find him.
Golly, dude!
Wild.
Imagine how that shower felt.
Oh,
Just like a first hot shower
Imagine what that food tasted
and a
like.
hamburger
Yeah.
yeah.
and a milkshake.
Cold beer.
After you eat like sardines and
Oh,
sand.
Plants.
everywhere.
Oh.
Shoes
Crazy.
didn't even fit.
Crazy. Wild.
Castaway, great movie, not
great
top
movie, not
five,
top 5.
but always worth talking about.
And I know someone's
What's
got,
a
"What's your
top 5 movie?
See, I put them in different categories. You
Me
can't
too.
lump all
It's
of
hard.
these.
There's too many movies that are like different ways, like different.
You know what you forget about too is
I love for me. I love Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, it's
like-
fantastic.
To me, that's a top 5 movie. I think they killed it. Right? You look at the cast in that movie; it's pretty impressive. I don't know what would be one for
So
you.
what I was about to say, like movies you watched when you were younger that were just awesome movies, but you don't give them much credit today. But when you were a little kid, it was like
Mulan.
Holes.
Oh, Hole's a great movie.
But like I wouldn't
Better book.
I would probably watch it a little bit today. But like, dude, that's one of my favorite movies of all
Right.
time.
Stanley Yelnats.
Yeah.
The first Men in Black.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I watched that. That's been on TV a lot lately.
I saw that come on the other day. I was like, damn,
Bad
that's
Boys
a
2.
solid
Bad
movie.
Boys 2 is great.
Great movie.
they're making another one.
I know Bad Boys 4.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. What'd I say? So I said Good Will Hunting. What's the one with I'm gonna draw a blank.
It can't be a top 5 if you don't know what it's called.
I know. Go ahead. What do you have?
Oh no, see, I put mine in different categories of like comedy. Then I have like 5 of those.
So you're a big movie guy.
Not a big movie.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what-
do like them, but
You
Have
know
you
what-
seen Tires? Have you seen the TV show Tires on Netflix?
electric.
It's so funny.
Finally,
Yeah.
You know what's one of my favorite movies ever? The first Transformers.
I like the first
well, yeah,
Transformers.
Megan Fox is like
Well,
that.
that-
A lot of people found out that they were straight that day.
Hey, well, not only that, it's a great movie too.
Oh yeah,
But, like,
I think
that
he was
was-
a big Shia LaBeuf guy.
That was one of the first, like
No
when I was
doubt.
growing
That's what it
up.
seems
Second
like.
Well, it's, okay,
Even
that's just
Stevens?
a coincidence. Coincidence. But that was like one of the movies where it had Megan Fox in it, smoking hot girl, and it was like that was one of the first movies. I was like, damn, that's unreal.
I should really learn how to work on cars.
So like you talking about those movies? Like, what do you?
Some of my older movies that I kind of forget about. Like
That you
usually
see on
whenever
like
I mean,
FX.
Shawshank Redemption's got to be a top 5,
that's a good movie.
right?
I mean,
In a different category, I guess.
yeah, like 'cause it's on TV all the time, but
Right.
I'm not going to allocate 2.5 hours to it.
For you. Yeah.
And my
fair enough.
litmus test is if it's on TV and I see it and I have it, do you make the extra effort to put it on, as opposed to sitting?
Does
through the
anybody
commercials?
have movies now? Like, I don't have movies.
No.
I just if I can stream it, I have it.
Yeah, I got a website for that.
Yeah, I know.
But that's where I put it. Like,
Okay.
okay, if it's on, and then I really want, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a top 5 movie to me.
Good movie.
Comes
No.
on TV a lot,
Yeah.
and it's one that's if it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
The Truman Show's funny.
Truman Show.
That's a great one. Me, myself, and Irene.
That's
I watched the
Jim Carrey performance of a lifetime.
Yeah.
watched Hangover the other day.
See, that's where I would put like top 5 in comedy for me.
Yeah.
I'd seen it a long time, and I think I was on a plane or something. I don't know
So
what it was.
great.
I watched it. I was
Scary
It's
movie
so
to put on at a plane
stupid.
because you're gonna be laughing like out loud.
Yeah, dude, it was.
great.
That was so funny, especially like when you kind of forget about it. That's how Talladega Nights is with me. Like, you don't watch Talladega Nights for a while, and you watch it again, and you start seeing stuff that you just totally missed, like the whole Mike Honcho deal
Yep.
for Playgirl magazine. Like, you know, first time I watched it, it kind of just got, jumbled up in there, and then you start listening.
You know
to
what
him.
movie was like that
It's
for
this
me?
dude's an idiot.
You know what
man.
movie was like that for me? The other guy.
The other guys. I was going to say the same
Like
thing.
the first time I watched the other guys, oh, that's pretty good, but like not his best. And then I watch it, and like the fifth time I watch it, like this is one of my favorite.
And then you watch the bloopers at the end of them like trying to not laugh.
That's the best part of all that.
Imagine like Anchorman, like those dudes just trying not to laugh at the Ron Burgundy shit, like any of it. Like, how do you not
If
just
you get
bust
through the
out
work
laughing,
day.
dude?
I love that.
These dudes are so stupid.
They're so good at what they do. It's
Oh,
the delivery.
it's insane.
All right, we got any more?
Oh, yes.
I
That
like
was
this.
it, yeah.
I mean, we got a lot more, obviously. With
Yes. A couple of going to the. Let me bring it back to the top real quick. From Brand Boyd, Chase
Brad?
Shores, double question mark back. Just figured you'd give an update on the Chase Shores situation. He's asking you. He's not telling you.
no.
I didn't think so. And what is his
You're talking about Chase Shores back, as in like coming back next year, or like back right now, like available.
back right now, like available?
No.
And then I would like to hear the second part of that.
He will be
question.
back next year, I believe.
You think so?
Yes. His upside's too high. He's a junior still. He has a lot of leverage still to come back. He goes out there and stays healthy.
He
He's
can
gonna
make
be first
himself
round.
a lot of money for coming back.
Yeah, because I feel like that's where kind of the conversation was going. He wasn't going to pitch this year because he may work himself for just to go to the draft.
Hey, that dude is huge.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you don't make your money in the draft. You make your money in the big leagues. And, yeah, you want to get a good signing bonus, you get drafted high, all that good stuff, right? He's trying to get ready to get to the big leagues, right? He rehabs. He comes back next year, and he has a good year on the mound. He's going to be in the big leagues in a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
He's got that frame. He's got the ability. So, yeah, not back this year. I think he'll be back next
You
year.
know who did that? And it's kind of reminded, but remember Paul Gervais?
Yeah.
He's
He's
been-
probably –
he's been doing really well, but like he was a transfer,
Yep.
came here, did well, like got better almost seemed like every outing at LSU.
He's on the doorstep.
If he doesn't come to LSU and do what he did,
Right.
it's like that makes making it in the big league, like climbing that ladder
Right.
a lot
No doubt.
harder. And I think that can, like Chase, if he were to go this year, like dude, I think he'd have more of an uphill climb than if he comes back, gets better every outing, stays, rehabs, gets right. I mean, I think he could be
No doubt.
big time.
I mean, he could come back and potentially be. You're losing probably. I'm going to say probably. You're losing Holman and Jump. And
Here's
so,
what I think, and I don't know the portal, right? Like he's gonna go out, probably get somebody in the portal, but he comes back next year after Tommy John because he's probably cleared to pitch,
Yeah, it was April of
but he's not.
2023.
He's not gonna pitch, right? So like, by the time he pitches next year, it'll almost be 2 years.
Yeah,
recovery.
you have too many guys in the pen. I feel like to even need him to
Right.
pitch.
But
You
you'll have him.
healthy guys
You'll have
right
him,
now.
Kate Anderson potentially, and I think Griffin comes back and becomes a starter next year.
Really?
The only reason Griffin, because he's a draft eligible sophomore, so the only reason he would go to the draft is if he felt like he had no upside coming back. Now, if he comes back, to me, the upside coming back is, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity to start, and you still have another year of leverage. They already know what you can do at the bullpen. If you go out there and you can show that you can start, go 5-6 innings, and be as dominant as you have been, you're going to increase your value. That's what I think.
It's kind of like, what is it, Hess for LSU? That was.
But he wasn't draft eligible, was he?
I don't think so.
I don't think
No,
so.
but I'm saying that was like the pitch to. I think he was, or at least get him to.
But
return.
they want him to come back and be a
Starter.
Friday starter. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So it's worked before, but you saw what he could do out the pen, and then you had that whole season. It felt like just put him in the pen.
Yeah, but then he got drafted. But the thing about it is, you're not going to get drafted in the first, second round at the bullpen.
Right. But no,
They're
I'm
not
saying
drafted a closer in the first round.
I'm saying when it becomes a what is best for the team versus what is best for you,
Kid.
and it puts the coach in a tough spot. Like, hey, look, I got you to come back to be a starter. Look, if we're gonna make a run, we're putting you back in the pen.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong too, though. But aren't most pitchers in the big leagues they were starters
Most
in
of them.
college, and they just.
Most of them. I mean, some of them aren't. Some
But
of
the
them
majority of them were starters, and
Yeah.
as they got deeper in their career, whether it's in the minor leagues or big leagues, then they were like,
Yeah,
okay, well,
because
you're
either
probably
they
better
have-
suited a closer, or you're
Right.
probably better suited a mid.
Only 2
guy.
pitches. You haven't developed a
Yeah.
third pitch. All those types of
But
things.
you were
yeah.
probably a great starter in college, and that's why
Right.
you got your foot in the door.
Right. Exactly. Next.
So there's your.
But
Chase
no,
Shores.
he asked that because somebody tweeted like
It was
Chase Shores running down the
LSU
bullpen with cleats.
Barstool It's like I don't think they're breaking any news there, buddy. Like, don't take them.
Yeah, of course. He's like, this is part of his rehab program. Like, he's got to
hurry up and get his bands in
Yeah.
because he's got
he ain't coming in.
a lot. Yeah, just show and go. Screw it.
Oh, here he is. Win one for the Gipper. He just comes out like, oh, Chase Shores. That'd be a perfect opportunity.
That would be severely irresponsible.
Yes. Okay, next one up.
Next thing we know, he's going to start in game 3 or something crazy.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that.
Christopher McKay, as a topic we have touched on, but I wanted to get your thoughts on actual game plan of what you would do. Christopher McKay, what's the chance they try to save home and a jump for Saturday and Sunday, and a Hurd, Nate, or Anderson for Friday?
I don't think they do that against Wofford. I mean,
You got to win game 1.
you got to win game 1 because if you don't win game 1, you're not going to get out of it.
Then you're actually in a worse pitching situation than you were by burning a starter.
Yeah, I think you
Because they got no arms out. They have to pitch perfectly.
Now, that conversation for North Carolina is different. You save your number 1, number 2 for the next 2 games, and you pitch your 3rd starter in that first game because you're playing a 4 seed, right? Like that would be the conversation. But last year Jay didn't do it. Last year Jay threw Paul, right? Game 1.
Tulane.
So
He went 124 pitches in
Yeah,
9 innings.
I remember that.
right,
And it
so
was
like
a close game. I think it was like, what, 7-3,
Yeah.
7-4?
yeah, so like that's he showed you last year what as a 1 seed. So this year as a 2 seed, I don't see him changing that. I think
Right.
he stays on with that.
Yeah,
now
I
it's either going to be jump or home, and I don't know who it's going to be, but one of those two. Lloyd?
I was looking for something, and I ran out of time, clearly. All right. Next one up. Ask him, NM, and C. Did y'all hear, or do you believe that Neck will be in the new NCAA 25, which I saw today on Twitter? A
saw
lot
that.
of
Is that-
NCAA talk and chatter coming through the pipeline as they had, I don't know, these people that test video games for a living, I guess, and write about it.
Right.
Do I think it's going to be in there? I do not.
The band, the
think it is?
song, the band song will be in there. Da-da-da-da. The song,
They're not
I
gonna have the
guarantee you.
chant.
But it's not going to be. I doubt. There's no
I
way.
don't think they're going to have Suck That Tiger.
Oh,
Dick
yeah, yeah.
pitch
No,
blaring
there's
on
no way the
NCAA.
chant. But the song's
Yeah,
probably in it.
the tune.
The tune's in it.
Hey, you took away the bad part of Neck because there's not actual people there.
Right.
The song Neck is awesome. What happens after it plays,
Right.
I don't think will happen in the
But I
game.
think Neck is in there,
Yes.
but I don't think
Yeah,
the
right.
people
I'm
are.
with you.
Right.
Yep.
And now if they do slide it in there,
Wow.
Well, that game's going to be rated E.
and
For
let's
everyone.
play in Tiger Stadium.
Right.
It's rated E for everyone.
I remember like playing it like NCAA football 07 and it playing it and now it would pop up like the front of the game and you saw that E at the
E,
bottom of
of
it
course.
for everyone.
Everyone can't get in trouble.
You can't have Neck on there if it's E for everyone.
It's online. We just did Castaway. Oh, here we go. Question for somebody in here. What's a better feeling, hitting a home run or dropping a big buck?
Oh.
Oh,
Hitting a home run. I didn't hit many home runs because
I know
didn't
that's
hit.
all the more reason.
Tell you what, dude.
They're both at adrenaline rush. I don't know. Anybody can usually go out there and shoot a deer with a rifle. Like my grandma can, if you put a deer out there and she can somewhat shoot a gun, she can go out there and drop a buck with a rifle. Grandma can do that. Grandma can't hit a home run in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Exit
So-
Velo might not top out.
Right.
You get a big adrenaline rush when you kill a deer. I mean, I'd rather hit the home run.
But that's also where the competitiveness of it comes in because not everybody can hike a mountain, backpack for 10 days, and shoot an elk with a bow.
Right.
I mean, not everybody can do that. I mean, it's
Sometimes
hard.
you chase elk for 6 days and don't get a shot at it.
Sometimes you chase elk for 6 days, don't get a shot, sleep in a tent, get a storm
So
on
you're
top of a
actually
mountain.
like mad at the animal.
No, you're not mad at the animal.
Honestly, to me,
It's
that's a pure form of hunting, right?
Yeah.
right. You're
'Cause,
not
like,
mad at
Liver
the
King,
animal.
The
It's a
animal actually
sport.
has a chance.
It's a
You are
sport.
stalking it. You're trying to trail it. You're trying to find it, and you have a bow to try to kill it. Where the animal has a chance. You have to get a certain distance. You can't be
Certain
however far
environment.
away with a big ass rifle, which is easy.
Dude,
You know?
their nose is like 3 times or however many times stronger than a dog's. They can smell for miles and shit. Like they're dinosaurs. Seriously, like, dude, you shoot an elk for the first time and you're like, oh my god, this thing's a freaking
I heard elk
dinosaur.
tastes great too.
It tastes unbelievable.
And they're huge.
But you're not mad at the animal. You're just
you want to kill it.
You want to kill it because it's
not mad
it's
at
the
you.
fulfilling aspect. Like that's why they have bird watchers. Like you go out there and you go watch birds and you enjoy doing it because you don't want to kill the birds. But guys that are hunters, they want to go stalk and kill the animal. It's hard. Grandma can't do that.
No.
So that makes that more fun, I would say. Not a lot of people could do that. Because you got to be in shape. You got to train for it. You got to go. I mean,
Don't eat that. Do eat this.
Well, we bring
Provisions.
we bring dehydrated meals that you got to heat up water, like boiling water. You got to pour them in there. You got to seal it for 15 minutes. You got to eat it.
He's doing it, bro.
That's real.
Dude, but then you get done, it's like, damn, I've been planning this. Like, you plan for it, you train for it, then you go and you freaking do it. You're like, damn, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So, I don't know. That's tough. But, yeah, I guess
Circle life.
hitting a homer. More people care about you hitting a homer than you shooting an elk. Especially at LSU.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Well, you have one of two in the office.
Oh, you shot a buck. Dude, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I hit a homer against Arkansas.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
I thought you were him. All right, yeah. I don't think I've never been deer hunting or elk hunting or any of those big four-legged animals. I don't have any qualms against it, but it is a bit like killing a dog, where you're like, this thing has a real personality to it.
It's not like killing a dog.
At least you could eat it.
You could eat a dog.
It's not like killing a dog.
No.
Well, you don't think so, obviously, or else you wouldn't do it as much.
Yeah.
I've never
But a
killed
duck is definitely not like that to me. It's just a bird. Dumb bird in the sky. Falling for the same tricks it's fallen for the last 100 years.
Yeah, man. They get trust issues though, man. They get trust issues on those decoys. Think about it. Like, imagine walking in a group of your partners and just getting shot every time you go in there. It's like, oh, they're hanging out in the kitchen. Let me go see them. And you get. I mean, dude, talk about trust issues.
tough.
PTSD.
That's
You
tough.
think like, all right, I'm not gonna go hang out with those dudes, but
I
they
really
might be real ducks.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I really like that call she's sounding like. Got a great voice. I'll go see what she's about. Imagine what their minds went through when the Robo Duck came out. They're like, you're just fucking moving.
They're going nuts. They're going bananas down there. Dude, I've never seen that girl before.
Robot. What a nightmare to realize, like, these are fake ducks. Dude.
Yeah, now
I
they're
know
like-
where I am now.
And they get too close. They have to land. Oh shit!
Yeah, get me.
I'm out. And they try to weave through. Hopefully they have me shooting at them and they get through.
And they go tell their partners, like,
Hey,
buddy,
don't go down that way.
Don't go.
Don't do that.
They
Tell
can't
all your
shoot for
friends.
Shit.
Yeah. He may get you.
Oh, it's so funny.
All right.
Ask him to see him. Hypothetically, if LSU were to make it to Omaha, could Joe win Coach of the Year? Could Jay win Coach of the Year?
If they make it to Omaha, I think they'd have to win it.
I mean, it's tough, but at the same time, like,
He wouldn't win it. He wouldn't win it just making it. He'd have to win the whole thing.
I don't think would it be back-to-back years?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's like making the run and doing what he did. Like, hey, you weren't even supposed to make the postseason. You made it all the way.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's where I
I
think
think they'd have to win it. They'd have to win it again.
Yeah,
for him to win it.
well, I think that's where the argument lies, is because probably I think everybody would agree better coaching job this year because you didn't have to do as like last year. Obviously, you had to piece together the back end of the bullpen, but you knew who your leadoff.
They were
was.
loaded.
Yeah,
you knew who your top six were
Yeah, and they're all had
every day.
Right.
10+ home runs, and some had 20.
Right.
And they're like, I don't really have to do much today.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes in, because this year you were still tinkering with the lineup until, I guess, Ole Miss.
Right. Yeah, I think if they win the World Series, he'd probably win again. But they have to win the World Series.
And people are picking LSU to win, third best odds.
Third or fourth. Yeah, third best odds. I mean, that's
Third best odds to win the World Series.
before the SEC.
LSU at plus 600.
Did you take him at plus 4,000?
No, I took him before the year.
Which was
750.
okay.
But I never think to check again. I'm
Yeah.
not like, LSU, they're going to turn it around. Let me get my bet in. I should.
Right.
Yeah.
But always when I get the future in before the year, for some reason my
Forget
brain
about it.
doesn't allow me to think like, maybe the odds got better.
Yeah. Right.
Because that means my future pick was not good.
Right.
But could have snagged it at a price.
Yeah, it's not like you.
should start sports betting.
You can.
You can do it anytime you
That's
want.
the perfect thing to do in the
I don't
blind.
think I've ever
The camp?
placed a sports bet.
I've been on a 6-month hiatus.
I don't think I've ever done. I
Since January 1. I haven't bet since January 1.
Football season's 95 days away. Get right back into it.
I'm not doing it.
I've been riding this LSU streak.
You're good? You're in a good spot?
In a good spot. Well, I'm always in a good spot, but I'm trying to get to that next level. Still,
Yeah.
not as many games to gamble on without football, but
Right.
the road to 3K is still out there.
Still betting low
Yes.
units. Yeah. Okay.
Penny stocks. Got to play
Let's
the game.
Let's do one more.
If you play every day, you can't
Right.
you gotta there's 365 bets to place. They all can't be big.
No, but think if you just increase them just a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be in a different spot, different tax bracket even. Right now I'm not even in one
There you go.
because I don't pay my taxes.
One more.
Cam Johnson would be so clutch if he was anywhere close to ready. Do you see him making an impact at all this week or in this regional?
No.
don't think if you didn't see him in the SEC tournament, I don't think you see him.
Yeah, I don't think Jay has enough trust in him to throw him in a situation like this.
No, he's done it every which way with Cam to see like low leverage situations it wasn't great, high leverage situations it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I don't think
And he's a guy now, like, hey, look, we gave you a little bit of an experience. Your job is to go to over the summer,
Yeah, you don't want to
figure
just.
some stuff out, and then come back.
You honestly want to almost just send him right now.
Yeah, right.
Say, hey, chalk it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Go.
shocked if he's not on the roster, but he's probably going to be.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
That's all
Or
we got.
last one. Has Coach Moffitt brought out to hawk hunt from a helicopter yet?
No, he hasn't. He wants to, bad, and he's probably, if I know him, has it set up already. Just hasn't had time to go. If I know,
Yeah.
he's been.
You know your dad.
If I know, he's been already out there. Like he's went and hunted with some guys, and I don't know if they killed anything or not. No, they haven't because he would have sent it to me. But if I know him, he's already got it set up, and he's just waiting to go and do it.
To do it. That'd be fun.
He's a killer, dude.
Yeah.
The dude's like,
No, he's the best. He's the best. All right. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the questions for Ask Mikey, and Moffitt and Lloyd.
Yeah. I'll answer anything.
I appreciate you bringing me off the bench, dude.
No, dude, I appreciate you coming.
I felt like I said, I feel like Howie's sitting here on the bench warmers, like, oh god, I was like,
for a minute, I didn't think you were gonna
I
accept
was
my
like
offer.
10th string on
I
10th
didn't-
string show, dude. But
I didn't think you were gonna accept my offer, but I'm glad you came. We had a great show. We got through the show, and we'll be back live in studio on Friday. May come a little earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. If game's at 11.
I don't know if we can get here at maybe we just do it at 11.
Yeah. 10:30.
Um,
Preview to the game.
Yeah, maybe we'll announce it. We're probably gonna get here a little earlier to start the game. Watch the game in here for a little bit.
Oh, this is Moffitt. This is how he fishes. Bang.
hey, my father-in-law does that at his place.
They're overpopulated
Yeah,
in this area.
Dude, those carp, there's a frequency that the motor puts out, and it makes those carp, like that's their defense mechanism, is to jump out of the water when they
That sounds
hear some
silly.
certain frequency. No, I'm serious. And so they do that. And it's actually very dangerous because a lot of guys get killed on boats because they'll jump out of the water and hit
Smack
you.
'em.
And if you're going fast, it'll
hurts.
knock you out the boat and knock you out and you'll drown. But
many
yeah, that's
fucking
actually,
shells
that
is
goes
that?
on down in Whiskey Bay, Louisiana. That actually happens right there.
That's awesome.
Dude, there's a bayou, and they'll just put the boat at a certain frequency and put the get it
just
to where
drop
they'll
the
jump
motor in?
and just put the boat on the bank and just run it in the water. And those fish are just going bananas, and it's literally shooting fish in a barrel, dude, just out of the air. Like they're just all in this one spot jumping up, and you can shoot them with shotguns. And that's just nuisance control. That's called an Asian carp, so
It
they're
is the Asian
probably
carp.
a invasive species, so you're actually doing good. So a lot of people that don't hunt don't understand. It's like, hey,
There you go.
so a lot of
Defend
this is
it.
just game management
defend
or
it.
invasive species control.
Yeah.
Just making
Defend it.
America a better place.
Yeah, you're the problem if you're not doing it. Go help.
You're either getting better or you're getting worse, but you never stay the same.
No.
Gotta move in one direction.
This guy is driving the boat and shooting a shotgun and filming it. All like this is not his first rodeo.
No.
He's
probably-
an experienced vet.
Probably from the Atchafalaya Basin somewhere.
Absolutely.
Before we go, though, we got the mistake of the day brought to you by our friends at Dozy Place.
We do have the mistake of the day, and this is an all-timer that happened, I believe, pretty recently. I saw it was trending on Twitter today, and it's just something that you hate for the guy trying to do the right thing. He is zooming in to his court date.
Oh, yeah. How great is this?
It's unbelievable that he really
seen
put
this?
himself in quite the pickle.
No.
If you want to hear it, you put the earphones on.
What is it?
This is the mistake of the day.
Brought to you by?
Dozy Place.
Yesterday was National Burger Day.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wish I had known that. I had a burger.
Yeah.
I didn't
You
have
can
a
always
burger.
celebrate, though.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up now. I'm waiting for it to load. Here we go.
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
So he's driving.
He's driving to a court hearing about.
No, he's driving to the doctor. He's zooming into a court hearing where it's talking about him having a suspended license.
Yeah, he's driving.
And he's driving with the judge on the other end.
You stationary? I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly to 4 weeks if the court will allow.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driver license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
Look at this guy. He's like,
This is a charge, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his record. He doesn't have a license.
he doesn't have a license.
Suspended
Looking
and he's
at it.
just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
He's not even defended himself.
The judge.
I don't even know why you do
He
that.
hung up?
So, defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is turn himself into Washington Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in bench warrant with no bond.
Shit.
Oh my god. Hey, bro, what did you think was gonna happen?
No way,
he said,
dude.
"Oh my god."
I'm pulling in right now.
No clue what it like that he's about to get in so much trouble. He's like,
Bro.
you stationary? Yes, sir. Like, bro, you in trouble, dog?
Like, you have a suspended license. Not only do you have a suspended license, you're driving and FaceTiming at the same time.
To a court, to a lawyer,
To a lawyer, to a judge. Yeah.
About your suspended license. Like, hold on, I gotta go to the doctor's appointment though.
Wow.
Like, I can do two things at once.
Jesus, dude.
He
That's so
goes from
funny.
getting his court date pushed back to having to go to jail on the same day. Like, all-time bungle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, dude. No
you gotta
shit.
go to jail.
No shit.
Why?
Oh, you're driving with no license.
Imagine
He's
being
not
the-
looking at it. He has no license.
And
He's
if,
driving.
if you're the lawyer, I'm sure you can't tell, like, why would you let me do that? It's like, why would you...
Think
why would
about
I
doing
think that I have to tell you that?
Yeah, like that's something that you should know. Hey, don't have a license. I'm FaceTiming. Why don't I just not do that?
Can I zoom in? Absolutely. Not driving and committing the crime that you're currently being charged with. How about that? Like, OJ
That's a
live
great mistake.
streaming a murder.
It's a great mistake of the day. Curtain call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners. What you got, Lloyd? You got one?
Yes. And my curtain call was the neck situation with NCAA football.
I thought you were gonna do Charlie Hall, the female golfer.
Oh,
smoking
she's
a heater.
Legend, yeah.
Smoking a heater. She was signed autograph smoking a heater, dude. Like John Daly.
And she's like a workout freak too.
Yeah.
Like she kills it in like powerlifting, but she has to have a sig. They said that there's an account on Twitter, Charlie Hall sig tracker, for when she plays in LPGA events. Like she rips like 14. She does 7 on the 7 to 9. So
Wow.
she's basically smoking the entire time.
On the golf course?
Oh, in competition.
I didn't know you could do that.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, you can't like just smoke a joint in a baseball game.
Well,
Sure you
yeah,
can.
Sure you can.
I mean, not on the field, but
Well,
like
isn't she
in the dugout, maybe.
Yeah, but it's outside.
But there's no
She's
locker.
on the.
No, right. You're right.
She's on the
You're right.
course.
You're right.
Yeah, but it's not a competitive advantage. It is if she didn't have
like
it.
in her car.
Yeah.
But maybe it is a competitive advantage. It relaxes her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's open for everybody. Anybody can pick up a cigarette.
Well, you can't even dip in the MLB.
Yes, you can.
No, you're not. I'm almost positive it's illegal.
Oh, it is.
There's a rule.
But they're not enforcing it, and they're certainly not enforcing it now. Dual curtain call. See ya, Angel Hernandez.
Man.
See ya.
That's
They
like a
said-
deep breath for everybody.
They said that he called 10 games last year because he had some back issues or something, and he missed 125 calls in 10 games.
That's pretty good.
How did he get there?
He's been there, and he sued MLB for being racially discriminatory against him
Because
There's a lot.
for not ever getting being a chief in the postseason. He's umpired in the postseason, but he's never been
You're a
like
terrible umpire.
right.
he doesn't think so, which is like I'm almost jealous of Angel Hernandez to have like that brazen of confidence in yourself. Be like, I don't suck at this.
What?
Like everybody's telling you you're
A little
terrible.
bit of
It's like,
disconnect going on there, huh?
I think I'm great. Actually, I think I should be a chief. Like,
What are you on?
you're lucky to be here. And he was unceremoniously like fired. That's how the more that you read about this, it was not his decision to retire in the middle of the year.
No
was
doubt.
Strong-armed into this.
Our guy Joe Pompliano had a good breakdown of it.
So we can either fire you or you can retire.
Yeah.
You're not, and I think he's umpired for 23 years. He's worked the World Series twice.
Well, they weren't gonna fire him. What they did was, hey, we're gonna give you a nice severance package, and you're
Go
just
away.
gonna retire. So that's what they did.
It
Forced
took
him into
them.
retirement.
I would say if he's been in the league for 23 years, they've probably been trying to do this for 20.
Isn't it kind of funny? Like, you can be really bad at your job, but still leave with an upper hand with
Yeah.
a nice severance package,
Right.
and you're
Crazy.
like just totally under.
Crazy.
Oh,
Qualified.
underperformed, and everybody. And this isn't a public domain where everybody saw you be shit at your job, and you got to do it for 23 years.
And we're gonna
Made
take
almost
care. But we're gonna
500,000
make sure we take
on the
care of
back end,
you.
too.
And
Made almost $500,000 a year doing it. For
I wouldn't
something.
quit either.
Wow.
But I mean, the worst. Maybe I guess Cowboy Joe West is in that Hall of Fame.
kind of with how much money is involved in pro baseball and with these teams, and how the calls he would make would affect the games. It's kind of funny they let it go on that long.
Oh yeah, like to where it becomes a laughing, like, oh, you have Angel Hernandez behind.
But
the
you're
plate.
actually like screwing over billion-dollar organizations. If you think about it,
Yeah.
make a bad call against the Dodgers, like that's a pretty big freaking deal. Costs them a lot of money.
And Shohei's got money on the other side too in the game, so you're screwing him twice.
Then we're gonna give you a good severance package.
Yeah,
and go,
get out.
I want to go. I want to be an umpire.
I guess you got to make.
I
it
could go
though.
stink.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna pay me to leave nicely.
Great. American dream.
It really is.
That's it. My curtain call is to I don't want to give it to Paul
Again.
per se. I want to give it to McCutcheon. Because Andrew McCutcheon has been in the big leagues for a really long time. Great dude. Great player. On the back end of his career. In Paul Skenes' 4 Major League Baseball starts for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Andrew McCutcheon has homered in all 4 games. And that's a veteran saying, "Hey, I got you, kid. Here's some run support. Go out and do your thing. We're gonna make it comfortable for you." And he's done it. So that's my curtain call, is to McCutcheon being the vet and just saying, "I'm gonna rise up." Only when you start, not when you don't. When you start, I'm gonna play for
the
it.
other way.
Yep,
Like,
no doubt.
whenever you had, I mean, I think it was Lester with the Cubs that like literally had, I think, back-to-back almost Cy Young award-winning seasons. He definitely had one, and his run support was like fewer than 3.
Yeah, terrible.
And they weren't even a bad team. They just didn't
Score
perform
for
well when
him.
he pitched.
Yeah, wild.
And one more curtain call on the way out. The Scotty Scheffler
Oh yeah.
drama is over
Yep.
unceremoniously.
Is that like?
how about some lady reporter was trying to ask his attorney and he like went off on her like, what? Like, what are we doing?
What planet are you from?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Like, well, you heard what he said, that he did it on purpose. Like, no, lady. Like, he was being asked, like, leading questions.
Is that almost like Nick Saban getting pulled over before like an Alabama football game? Is that almost
Alabama,
comparable?
LSU.
Like,
Like, and
Yeah,
he's going to
amazing.
Bryant Denny. Like, what do you
Like,
think I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Well, you got to
yeah,
go to jail.
like that's comparable, right?
Hey, like, I'm the
Imagine
number
how
1
ridiculous
golfer.
that is.
Rules are rules.
Like, nicest guy on the golf course.
Like,
I'm
I
telling
gotta
you.
get over there.
Just
Like,
try.
this shit really doesn't happen without me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the guy.
And that's the other thing. He never even said that. He was never like, "One second, hold on. I don't do this often.
Then
I'm
the
Scotty
cop-
Scheffler. I'm the number one golfer in the
What?
world. I'm playing here in 2 hours."
Then the cop said that he jumped on the hood of the car, which is false.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, talk
Hey,
about a
camera.
power
And then
trip.
there's another video
Holy
of another
cow.
cop saying, "See, he scraped his knee. His knee's banged up." Hey, bro, he didn't even jump on the car. You're just blatantly lying.
But weren't there other cops? How does this guy's like buddy not be like, hey, dude, we're gonna just leave this one alone?
Back to
and let
blue,
the-
dude.
Like, who's
I
gonna?
don't know,
say-
dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. But did you see the interview with the cop after Scotty's like when they're kind of arresting him, or he's like talking like running through what Scheffler did wrong and why he shouldn't have, and it's the most self-serving, arrogant bullshit about like, hey, if you see somebody in the road that's trying to stop you, you stop. And Scotty was like, I didn't even know he was a cop. I had no idea what he was doing. He tried to bust my window out. Then when I rolled my window down, he hit me with a flashlight and never said he was a police officer. And he's like, well, we're all wearing the same thing. You don't think this denotes a police officer? He's like, you also had people that were working traffic. I don't know this. I don't know. He could have told me.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you just stop when somebody tries to stop you. He's like, this is bullshit. I'll go to jail.
Power trip.
I'm sorry.
Power trip.
And he hurt himself. He skinned his knee. You did
Skin
that.
his knee.
Pants are irreparably darn.
And now he looks like,
irreparably
and it's probably good he didn't give her a big reaction because now he looks like he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he went out and shot 5 under.
Yeah, that's after spending a night in jail.
Yeah.
The morning.
No, it was the morning.
Morning.
Doing
Hey,
the stretches in the morning.
hey, it was. I saw the.
Prison stretches. Dangerous game.
Yeah.
I saw the Twitter. Of course, somebody posted on Twitter. It was like Tiger Woods like dapping a dude up, and it was like Tiger picking Scotty up for prison for the round. Big dog.
Welcome to the club.
The internet's undefeated always. Always.
Oh my God. That's
Oh man, what a great show we had today. Nice, relaxed, loosey-goosey show before the Friday watch party.
about.
Very
That was a
broad.
game.
Yeah, covered a lot of topics. Movies,
did.
hunting.
Yeah, we did. We got light with it. It was great.
Football.
We appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't like it, please, and you don't like watching us and you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods, we'll be back live in studio on Friday. We'll give you the time here in the next day. We're gonna try to go a little earlier to start watching the game just here, and then and then we will talk LSU baseball. We'll preview the game as it's going on. Talk about live reactions.
Decision making, swing breakdown.
Yep, all that stuff, and then and then we'll go from there. Hopefully, Tigers win. Talk about it. Clay, appreciate you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Enjoy the rest of your
More than
Wednesday.
welcome to come back.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite.
Anytime.
going
As
hunting?
always, an open invite. I told you that.
I'm gonna give my curtain call to Will Helmers.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Kind of when you talking about McCutcheon, kind of remind me of him. Pretty cool.
Yep. Old guy, red veteran guy, doing the things he needs to do.
Bringing the promised land.
Yep.
He should have pitched with his hat backwards.
Dude,
That's
socks
what-
up, pants up, hat backwards. Just let it eat.
Let it eat.
Few buttons unbuttoned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
What'd you call it the other day?
Meat sauce.
Little meat sauce. Senior vibes.
Yeah. No doubt.
I did not think you were going to need me. But here I am.
Yeah. Yep. Enjoy the rest of your
Where's
Wednesday.
your helmet water,
NBA.
bud?
Timberwolves extended the series. So
They
if
did.
if you like basketball, it's not on tonight. On tomorrow. Game 5. Hopefully it goes to Game 7.
They need it to go
Yeah, because it'd be dead. NBA basketball would be dead until
June
for another week.
March, April, May, June 6th. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
when
another
they
week.
officially start. They don't move up their tournament time.
Yeah, crazy. All right. Enjoy Wednesday. We love y'all. Appreciate you. Peace.
Good Tigers.
Good Tigers.